It's Thursday night. What does that mean? You're seeing me on a Thursday? Yes. Brand new show here tonight. It's going to be a weekly series. Every Thursday night, we're going to be here. We're going to be live right after the Thursday thick of it. You're going to hop over here and you're going to watch the Thursday night throwdown. Now, what is that? What's it entail? So stay tuned. We'll be right back, and I'll give you all the info that you need and all of the Jets content you desire.
And now, welcome to Pride and Chaos.
Welcome to the darkest year of our adventures. Oh, yeah!
And now, give it up for Jeremy and Nick.
Nice candy.
No Jeremy tonight. That's for your viewing pleasure. So let me say what's up to a couple people who are here. Matthias was here early. Matthias is the winner chicken dinner. He was the first one here at 2:30 in the afternoon. He got in early. Johnny Jimenez is here. Tell them what they have won. Well, Johnny, they have won 1 hour with Nick Shine. Ba-da-da-da-da. Dano is here. You've won the opportunity to disclose Dakota's block list to the audience. I don't think Dakota follows me. I know he's first, and I know the other ones. I don't think he's been here. Who we got? Harlan in the house. Hank G, time to shine. I like that. I think that's going to be the Sunday night name, Hank. I really do. Sunday shine time. I think that's what the Sunday night show is going to be. You're onto something. I've always had that. Shine Dog was my high school, and the Shine Box, because Goodfellas came out in the 90s. Harlan's here. Hank's here. Harry, what's up, my cigar smoking pal? How are you? Dakota's probably celebrating his birthday. Big Knob. That's what she said. Welcome, pal. And Armand is here. So here's what Thursday night throwdown is going to be all about. I'm going to have on a fellow Jet content creator, friend, maybe someone I've never done a show with at all. And what we're going to do is we're going to take a topic and we are going to debate that topic. We're going to take different sides of it. There's a lot of shows where a lot of people agree. And I can always take either side of any argument. So I thought it would be fun to have a show where we don't go at it, but we get into it. We debate different sides of Jets philosophy. I know a lot of times our chat is split. Content creators might be split. I thought it would be fun to have a debate show. It's an election year. Let's play with that a little bit, right? Let's have, in an election year, a debate show. Good versus evil. Left versus right. Jets future versus Jets present. Eastern Standard Time against Central Standard Time. What's up, my man?
Yo,
How are you?
What's good? What's good, Nick?
Welcome
It's been too long,
to the
bro.
Thursday night throwdown. My first guest, my good friend. That's it, man. We're throwing down. It's debate
Let's
season.
do it. Nah,
It's
you're
election year. Let's debate
You're right.
things, right?
You're right. Let's do the damn thing.
Let's do it. Let's throw. See, I can argue with you. I can get tough with you because I know your wife is several states away, and I feel safe right now. I know Jess is in Texas, so I can get tough with you over the computer, my man.
That's fair. That's fair. That's fair.
Smart. I'm a man with a plan, bro. Let me take a guy who's far away in case I piss him or his wife off. I got a lot of time to hide before they come see me.
Plenty of space, you know what I'm saying, between now and then. You're good. You're good.
What's up, Wild
man.
Wave? Mess is here.
What's
New
up,
York
Nah?
super fan.
Marlon,
What's up, boys?
Jess, mess. Man, you got a crowd today, bro.
They're coming in. They're coming in.
They coming in through. Okay.
They're coming in. They're popping in.
Wild Wave. What's good, brother?
My gunny brings all the boys to the yard.
Is that what it is?
That's what it is, man.
Oh man, they might not like me after this debate. I don't know if do they know what side I'm standing on this?
All right. Well, let me ask this first. How'd your daughter do a track?
She crushed it, man. Like, so she's still there. Like, I came home.
Oh, wow.
I had to go pick up my other daughter because she had a thing going on with theater. So I told Jessica I would come home, grab the baby, and start making dinner. So when everybody gets home, food will be ready. And so she went. She got second place in discus. She placed in the hurdles. I think she came in third in hurdles. Again, 200-meter dash when she did she did hers. I said she got third, but I didn't wait around to hear what happened, so I'm waiting for her to come home and tell me. But she's still going, man. She's gotten. I guess she's got to do the 100-meter dash now, and she's doing the 400-meter relay. So
nice.
Yeah, she's what I'm saying. She's doing her thing. She's doing her thing.
Nice, awesome, yeah, awesome. I like it.
Thank you for asking.
Yeah, no, I support you and the family.
Appreciate you, brother.
So let's get into it, man. I know you're pressed for time. So what's your thoughts? Today's topic is the confidence of the 2024 Jets and making this season work. So give me your thoughts. Mm-hmm. Hit everybody with your mindset. I'll give you your opening statement, if you will. Okay. And then I shall rebuttal. And then we'll go back and forth. So tell us where you're at. Tell me your thoughts on your confidence of the 2024 Jets.
Okay, well, first and foremost, I want to make sure I'm clear, right? So the 2024 Jets are supposed to be a Super Bowl contender. We made moves to bring in Aaron Rodgers, one of the greatest quarterbacks to ever sling it, to come into this building. We believed we were only a couple pieces away, if that, a quarterback away, right? To bring him into the building, to be the savior of sorts, and to bring us back to the promised land, hopefully hoist the Lombardi trophy. That's the reason we brought him in. And to me, without that thought process being first expressed, you know what I'm saying? Like it's a moot point. I think the New York Jets right now are in a situation where we've got talent in terms of a number one wide receiver, a true number one running back, a couple of edge rushers who are freaking dogs, a couple of pieces on the offensive line and Tippmann and AVT who we know are solid. And the quarterback, it's really about the quarterback. Aaron Rodgers coming in there, putting it all together and then making moves. So, with that said, I watched a Green Bay Packers team that Aaron Rodgers failed to get into the playoffs in his last year there. Mind you, a much weaker division, a much weaker conference. Yes, I get it. People were saying it was a young team, and we understand that they led the league in drops, et cetera, et cetera. But we then saw Jordan Love pretty much take the same exact team, you know what I'm saying, into the playoffs and then win a playoff game. Then we saw freaking Patrick Mahomes win a Super Bowl with no wide receivers while still leading the league in terms of drops. So I had to sit back and kind of look at this, man, and I realized quickly that the thought process of us being one piece away, we might be embellishing a little bit. And this is why. We got Aaron Rodgers coming into the building right now, right? We're hoping he's healthy, but this is still going to be a 41-year-old quarterback coming back from the worst injury he's ever dealt with in his career, which is the Achilles. And we're hoping he's able to go ahead and bounce back. Mind you, the last time we saw him play a full season, it wasn't his best season. It was the worst season. Granted, we know there was the injury to the thumb. We're going to talk about the drops. I get that. But nonetheless, what we saw was an elite quarterback not be able to bring his team to the playoffs in a weak division and a weak conference. And he's now in the AFC. We've got the Bills, we've got the Dolphins, we've got the Patriots, who unfortunately they have our number. So until we can figure that out, like in a division in itself, that's difficult, and in the conference, that's won 4 of the last 5 Super Bowls, right? That's concerning. It's concerning. So one, our offensive line is in shambles. We don't have any offensive tackles. I know we're all kind of hoping we can figure this out in free agency and, of course, the draft. But let's just take a step back. We don't have a backup quarterback. We don't have a wide receiver 2, and honestly, I'm starting to question if we have a wide receiver 3. We don't have a running back after Brees that we can honestly say, hey, rest the kid. Somebody else can come in and, you know what I'm saying, do work. We're also strapped for cash, right? We're not going to be in a position to where we can go ahead and just throw money at the problem and go ahead and fix it in one off season. And we don't have a second round draft pick. There's a lot that we have to overcome right now in this offseason in order for that thought process of us being Super Bowl contenders to be a reality. And people talk about, well, just look at last season. Well, let's look at last season. We had teams like freaking the Bengals, who I think are legitimate, lose their quarterback. We had teams like the Chargers, who I believe have a breadth of talent, but poor coaching kept them from being in contention. You had the Cleveland Browns, who somehow still made the playoffs, even though they went through a rotation of quarterbacks, still made the playoffs. You got potentially a guy like freaking with their new offensive coordinator, Deshaun Watson, coming in that aligns well with them. There's going to be a lot of obstacles in our season for next year. And again, if you're the fan that said make the playoffs and we're good, fine, then you're good. But I thought we brought in Aaron Rodgers to be Super Bowl contenders. And for me, when you start looking at all of these little pieces that need to come into place and kind of fall in line, and are we really confident in the coaching staff? I'm starting to question the general manager. You see a hiatus of individuals leaving the organization. Like, there's just so much right now that we're looking at, and we're expecting to go ahead and achieve the promised land. In my opinion, we've lost some key pieces, and we're at a disadvantage in terms of assets to go ahead and get to where we need to get to, man. Like, I'm not as confident about this New York Jets team going into this season as I was last year. And it's frustrating to be on this side of the conversation, but that's just my reality. And the more I see other teams getting healthy, it worries me in terms of what we can potentially accomplish with all the obstacles in our own way before we can go ahead and start competing with the big dogs.
Okay. All right. You threw a lot out there. Let me try to process it. First, I want to Armand, and Adirondack, I see that you're here. Welcome. Scott's here too. Guys, we're gonna, after Gunny has to leave at the end, we'll do questions. I'll stick around and we'll do some questions. So if you would, please save that for then. This is the debate portion of the show. So here's a couple things. You look at the positives, right? And you know me, I'm almost annoying with how much I can find a positive in the worst times with the Jets. Like everything else in my life, I'm the most negative fuck in the world.
But not the Jets.
But the Jets,
you're an optimist there.
The only thing I am optimistic about, and they've given me zero reason to be, right? But let's break it down. Here's the good things. A team with the worst quarterback play the last 2 years and the most amount of offensive linemen used in the NFL over those 2 years won 7 games each season. People are shitting on Saleh, and I'm like, it's kind of a miracle coaching job this guy just did. Like, how many years have we won a total of 14 games in back-to-back seasons? Like, you go back to 10 and 11, that's it.
Yeah,
you know, or 9 and it was.
Yeah.
No, 9 and 10.
9 and 10.
2009 and 2010.
Yeah.
The playoffs were 10 and 11. So the positive, another positive you could take out of this past season is that when Rodgers went down, a lot of flaws were exposed, right?
Mm-hmm.
The wide receiver situation, like you said, now they know they got to go get another above average talent, if not premium talent. The offensive line. I think a lot of us were big on Conklin and what Conklin could do with Rodgers, because Rodgers always loves his tight ends.
Yep.
And we saw Conklin again in a year with awful quarterback play, not have an amazing season, not be a Laporta, Kincaid, but to get 60 catches or whatever the final number was with the awful quarterback play that we had with Simeon and Boyle and Zach most of the time, how can you not like look at Conklin and be like, he's going to be really good with Rodgers, right? Now, another thing is Rodgers playing. What does that mean for the run game? What does that mean for Breece Hall? What does that mean for Garrett Wilson on the outside? The presence of the smartest quarterback in football now that Brady's retired changes what the defense can do, will do, and want to do. When we saw the Charger game against Zach Wilson, we saw them just bringing pressure all the time because they were like, fuck it. We know you ain't going to make the right reads. We know they're not going to pick up the blitzes. We're coming. That doesn't happen if Rodgers is back there. You got to pick your poison. Are we going to leave Garrett Wilson one-on-one on the outside? Are we going to send an extra rusher here? Are we going to blitz? Rodgers knows when those things are coming. I always bring this up. It was either Hard Knocks or the One Jets drive this summer where Rodgers, I think we were scrimmaging Carolina, and he looked at the safety. He was like, where the fuck are you going? Back up. You ain't even come. Like, he's talking shit, knowing what they're – and they didn't even do film study for Carolina, and he knew what the fuck was going to happen. So now you want to you want to walk somebody up, check, whatever, check, go.
Yep.
Garrett Wilson. Watch the opening drive against the Giants. You know, it was circulating on Twitter today, the opening drive with the Giants. He fed Garrett Wilson the ball. One play down on the bottom, Garrett Wilson, cornerback was 10 yards off. Wilson sprints at him 8 yards as soon as he turns. Wilson turns, pops, balls on his chest, 10-yard play. Another one, guy's back, first snap, boom, sling it to the side. Garrett gets 10 yards, almost breaks it past him up the sideline, but just got pushed out of bounds. Another one, they throw a fade to Wilson, and then they throw a touchdown to Wilson. That's one drive. Imagine an entire game with Garrett Wilson. You're going to see 16, 17 targets, 10, 11 catches. What's that do now for Breece Hall? Just Rodgers' presence is going to bring the offense to another level. Now, offensive line. I think we address left tackle in free agency. I don't think we're going to leave it to a draft pick protecting Rodgers' backside. I think Bakhtiari on a cheap deal, incentive-based, Tyron Smith. I think the Jets are going to be in immediately with one of those guys. I don't think you pay Bakhtiari where he's guaranteed to be a starter. I don't think you're giving him 2 years, $26 million. I think 2 years, 12, 2 years, 14 with incentives, games started, games played, how the team does in the playoffs. All those things can be added on. He's made a ton of money, right? He was making $23, $27 million. You want to come play with your buddy? All right, we need you to take a little bit of a discount, just like he took a discount to come here.
Yep.
So you want to make it work? You're going to have to – we'll pay you to play. The more you play, the more you get paid. Go live in his glass house up in Montclair. Enjoy yourself. It's a beautiful scenery. You look at New York every day through his living room window, and then get to play with your buddy on the field again. With the first-round pick, I don't think it's a lock that we go offensive lineman. I think, and people might not like this, but if we lose Huff, I don't think you can rule out defensive line. I don't think you can. Whether it's
Nick.
Hold on. Wait. Bro. I didn't interrupt you. You'll have your time to rebuttal.
You're right.
Hang on. If the top three receivers and Bowers are gone, and Alt, Fashanu are gone, I think you could see them moving back a little bit. And if they don't have a guy that they like, I don't think you can rule out a guy like Turner or Latu. I don't think you could rule out Murphy or Newton, putting them next to Quinn and Williams. You might have to cut JFM. Carl Lawson's gone. Huff might be gone. Robert Saleh repeatedly says, we go as this D-line goes. They are not going to let the D-line get weak. Now, I'm not saying you get a speed rusher like McDonald. I say you get a guy like Latu or Turner who are just like Jermaine Johnson. They're big, they're physical, they're high motor, they pursue the run, they track down plays from behind. A guy like Murphy or Newton next to Quinnen Williams on the interior is an upgrade. There's no reason for Jonathan Franklin Myers to be paid $16 million a year for basically a glorified Michael Clemens. Guy gets 4, maybe 5 sacks. He doesn't deserve the contract. He's got to go. I wouldn't rule it out, is all I'm saying. But now, if you go get a receiver, a Boyd, a Curtis Samuel, who I've been saying since November, a guy who's a big physical slot receiver, like a poor man's Debo is what I've referred to Curtis Samuel as, to play the inside. Now with Wilson, with Conklin, you're giving Rodgers legitimate weapons. You go get a guard in round 3, because that's where you draft your interior offensive linemen. You go get them in round 3. You find guys that fit your scheme on defense. You re-sign Chuck Clark. You retain Ashton Davis, who might be the most underrated player on this team. The guy barely plays, and he commits. He's a ball hawk. Ball just seems to find him. Sauce jokes about it all the time. He goes, the guy barely plays. He's got this many more than me. I'm out here every play. I can't get them. You resign Zerline. You resign Morstead. All right, your specials are important. It always has been with the Jets. I don't know if you bring Hardy back. Maybe you bring in Irv Charles to be your gunner, your special team guy all the time. You don't let your defense slip. Linebackers were set. All 3 linebackers are back. The D-line needs work. The cornerbacks, the top 3 are there. So the defense is still there. You don't want the defense to get weak. I don't want to find out the answer. Does the cornerbacks make the D-line great, or is the D-line making the cornerbacks great? I want them both to remain fully loaded as long as we can, right? As long as this window that we have is open, I need both of those to be elite units. But if you can shore up the line with 2 guys, even if you have to keep Tomlinson and you don't want to, I'm even okay cutting Tomlinson and signing McGovern and having AVT, McGovern, and Tittman be your interior, free agent left tackle, and potentially either Carter Warren or another draft pick. If it's a round 1 guy, you trade back a little bit to pick up a 2. You go with somebody like Guyton. You go with somebody like Patrick Paul. You go with these guys who can start now on the right and then maybe move to the left down the road. I don't think the team is that far off. And I'll close with this. The most important thing of anything that I've said is health. Everybody going nuts about a backup quarterback, honey, and here's why I don't give a shit about who the backup quarterback is. In a season in the NFL where the most amount of players in NFL history started at quarterback, 0 made the final 8. This league is still about who's taking the snaps. It's a cool, fun little story. Backup quarterback for some teams is always the most popular guy on the team. And I think Jets Twitter is ad nauseum and making me want to vomit every time I hear about who we have to go get and spend. If Aaron Rodgers goes down again, guess what? Our season's over. Nobody's taking us deep into the playoffs with the quarterback gauntlet we have to run in the AFC playoffs. It's not happening. Burrow will be back there next year. Herbert will be better with Harbaugh. Mahomes is there. Lamar is there. Allen's there. We're not going in with Jacoby Brissett and beating any of those guys. Let's be realistic. That's me. So I know I did a lot. Go ahead. Your turn. What's up, everybody in the chat? Thank you for joining. I'll catch up with the chat now.
Yeah, I really appreciate y'all chopping it up. This is fun. This is why this is so fun, man. I'm reading the comments and I'm seeing like it's back and forth. Everybody like engaging about it and having conversations about it. But no, I'm going to say right now, man.
This is why the Thursday night throwdown is going to be the best show to watch. It's going to have 2 people taking a different stance and dividing everybody. But we're a family, dude. Families bicker, and at the end of the day, we all hug it out. The chat will hug it out, and then everyone will get along. And then for the record, what are we fighting about next week?
Right. But for the record, even if you're for or against the argument of the day, as a Jets fan, I hope I'm wrong. I want to make sure I hope I'm wrong. I hope that my fears and concerns about this season is just me being a pessimist and I get proven wrong. And then y'all can laugh about like, yo, Gunny, remember when you said, I'll be like, yeah, you got me. I'll be the first to jump on, be like, I'll jump on. I was wrong. I want to be wrong. But I'll say this. I think that a lot of the faith that we have in this team being Super Bowl worthy is based off of Aaron Rodgers, right? I think everybody here can agree Aaron Rodgers is the catalyst. But I also think like we've all seen Aaron Rodgers in his prime in a weaker conference in a weaker division not be able to get to the big game. And I think that for us, if we're being realistic about it in terms of fans, and my wife being a Packers fan, I've watched Aaron Rodgers just dominate the league. And then when it mattered most, like unfortunately he couldn't punch it across the finish line. I think the biggest reason for that was because he didn't have enough help. I think Aaron Rodgers, as great as he is, he never had the kind of support, you know what I'm saying, you've seen other quarterbacks get when they're in that prime, when they're in that window of just elite ability. And for us now to
I agree with you. 100% agree with you.
Right.
One of my buddies who's been a Packer fan for a long time said to me, you need to get more than Garrett Wilson. This is before last season. Yep. You need to get more than Garrett Wilson. Garrett Wilson's nice. But the reason Rodgers always gets eliminated from the playoffs is that they'll take away his best target, Devontae, Jordy Nelson before that. And then all of a sudden he's throwing uncharacteristic interceptions because he's forcing the ball because he doesn't trust the rest of the cast. So you got to build that cast.
Yep.
Yes, 100%. I agree with that.
And so for me, I'll say this. If the New York Jets draft a defensive player with the first round pick, we are an unserious franchise. If we draft a defensive player, now let's remind you, the number one defense in the NFL last year was the Cleveland Browns. They were dominant and disgusting, and they were one and done in the playoffs. Defense is great, right? We all grew. I think our generation grew up on like, man, defense wins championships. Like it's all about the deep. Yeah, it helps. But we're seeing more and more nowadays that offense right now is dominating. You saw the the Chiefs' first 49ers game. 49ers defense is an elite defense. Elite defense. They came in second in the Super Bowl. If the New York Jets draft a defensive player with the first round pick, this is an unserious franchise. And we as a fan base have been playing ourselves and continue to go ahead and do so because we believe in a figment of what is considered to be a competitive organization. The only way we are going to be competitive is if that first round pick goes to an offensive tackle or a wide receiver that happens to slip, right, and falls down. Like you've got to go ahead and show Aaron that he's the guy that we're going to live and die about what he can bring to the table, and we're going to help him. That same message that Saleh told freaking Zach Wilson when we drafted him, hey, you're not going to have to carry us. We're going to carry you. Just do your part, and we're going to go ahead and do it. We're going to need to actually see that come to fruition. And if we take a step back, I'm all about taking a step back defensively, so we're not the number 2 defense or number 1 defense in the NFL, but we're still top 5. I'll do that all day if we can go ahead and improve the offense to just be in that range of top 15. This team, I think, last year, if a top 15 offense with how everything played out with injuries, and again, I'm not wishing for injuries, but injuries on other teams. If you had a top 15 offense with this team, we're in the AFC Championship game. Like, there's no if in my mind, there's no ifs, ands, or buts. We're in the AFC Championship game. And I think that's the issue right now. I think that the lack of focus and success when it comes to building the offensive line. And I know people are going to say, oh, Joe Douglas brought us Breece Hall and Garrett Wilson and Sauce Gardner. And I get it, man. But I've gotten to that point now where I'm not building the statue for Joe Douglas, because when we brought Joe Douglas into the building, every single one of us was like, man, our offensive line is about to be a freaking wall. It's about to be the best offensive line in football, because that was his area of expertise. That's what we expected him to bring to the table. We thought we were going to get 2010, 2011 level offensive line play, and we're bottom 3 in the NFL since Joe Douglas took over. So I will give credit where credit is due. He has put resources to that position. He's just been wrong every time he's made the decision. You know what I'm saying? Like, again, I get it. Injuries, you can't really calculate for that, whatever the case. But nonetheless, he's been wrong. This is a results-driven organization, not organization, but like game. Football is results-proven, results-oriented. He hasn't showed us the results. Yeah, we'll give him the baton or the freaking statue for the 2022 draft. Okay, cool. You got 1 right out of 5. We thank you. we appreciate that. But when you look at the body of work, man, it's concerning. And I think that's why I walk into this offseason with so much, with a lack of confidence, right? I don't know if the right picks will be made. I don't know if the right decisions will be made to maximize this very short window we have. 2 years. People are saying 3 years. Listen, I don't think Aaron Rodgers takes care of his body the way freaking Tom Brady does. And they're 2 different type of players. Tom Brady was significantly more cerebral. Aaron Rodgers has one of the strongest and most prolific arms in the game. So it's still very much physical. Yeah, smart guy, but he depends on his physical ability with that arm to go ahead and do what he do. Okay. And I think that we've got 2 more years of him being in that top echelon of like top 10 in the league in terms of physical ability. Listen, I'm concerned. I'm very concerned. And you made some valid points. I'm not going to pretend like you didn't. But I think depending on Aaron Rodgers specifically with the scam or the sham that is our offensive coordinator, right? We've just pretty much lost every offensive coach. They've all gone to bigger and better things, right? We're going to need, if Aaron Rodgers is the catalyst, if he's who we're betting our hopes and dreams on, then he needs support. That means everything in the offseason needs to focus on the offense. That means offensive line needs to get done. I'm a big fan of Bakatari. I know a lot of people are scared because of the injury, but I've researched the crap out of that based off of, again, my wife being a Packers fan. I do believe him trusting some schmuck in Wisconsin to do the surgery was a big component as to why his knee, the same exact knee, has been an issue nonstop since his ACL injury. Because if we all look before that, the dude was a freaking Iron Man. I digress, but I also believe we need to make a real legitimate push in free agency for a guy like a Calvin Ridley. If Mike Evans is serious, we need to bring him in. Like, let's stop talking about it. Be about it. You want this to work with Aaron Rodgers, right? You need to go ahead and say, you know what? Fuck it. We'll go ahead and kick the can down the road. We've got two years. Let's go ahead and get this man everything he needs for him to maximize his abilities. Because is Aaron Rodgers elite? I still think he is. I still think that, and then this is him bringing him down a couple of tiers, but we've seen him at his prime, elite, in Green Bay, Wisconsin, not be able to take his team to the promised land because he didn't have enough help. So for me, give that man help. Right now, my dream, and I know this is a kid's show, but I've had wet dreams about the potential of Mike Evans being a New York Jet.
Why do you think I did at 10 o'clock?
Bro, I know, and I appreciate it. Because Mike Evans, to me, is my number 1 target. And if we bring him in next to freaking Garrett Wilson, I really believe we have a top 5 offense in the making. Why? Because Mike Evans is a dog. He is literally quarterback proof. This guy has proven it doesn't matter who's at the helm, he's going to get his. With a guy like that, next to Garrett Wilson, with Aaron Rodgers at the helm, Breece Hall in the backfield, and like you were saying, I didn't mention the tight end room because the tight ends I love. I love our tight ends. CJ Uzomah, I don't like him in terms of play, but I love his personality. I love the leadership thing. I'll give him credit for that. But I'm a big fan of Conklin. You bring in a guy like Mike Evans, and you've got Breece Hall, Garrett Wilson, everything else, throw it at the offensive line. Everything else, because that's enough. I think Mike Evans could be the biggest freaking game changer if we can somehow pull him away from Tampa Bay.
I just think that the Tyreek Hill files, if you will, exposing New Jersey taxes, saying Evans has been in Florida his entire career.
I agree with you 100%.
Paid many state taxes. You think he's going to want to voluntarily go take New Jersey state taxes after being in Florida?
Now, remember, I agree with you, right? I think that it's a long shot, but I'm saying if we have to pay the Jersey tax, the new whatever tax to get him in the building, I think he's worth it because he's never had an Aaron Rodgers throwing him the ball before.
Off-field money makes
100%.
Right?
If Mike Evans takes us to the AFC Championship game, he's going to make 3 times what he would have made in Tampa Bay if they max him out. Like that's how we are as a fan base. We will buy the
Rodgers
jersey.
and Evans will be doing State Farm commercials together.
100%.
Like
Till they're 90. Bro, so
he will become a marketing star if he's in New York with the plays that he makes. I agree. I just don't think he chooses New Jersey.
No.
Nothing
and
to
again,
do with the Jets. I think
I agree with you.
Giants might need a receiver too. I don't think he chooses New Jersey.
I do believe it's a long shot.
It's a money thing.
I do believe it's a long shot.
Well,
and I do believe there's going to be other people out there for his services. I do. I think that's the thing. It's going to be hard to bring him into the building.
In making money post football, we've seen a lot of guys come through New York and use that to
Tiki
pave
Barber
their football career.
Is one of the most incompetent human beings behind a mic.
Awful.
He's getting paid millions to talk about football. He's horrendous. Why? Because he won.
New York media gave him jobs.
Exactly. Because he won in New York, and that was enough. For a guy as horrible as Tiki Barber to right now.
He didn't win in New York.
Well, and with the Giants, they won.
They won the year after they got rid of him. And
but he was consistently. They were consistently in the playoffs. That's what I'm referring to. Like he was consistently in the playoffs, and that works for us. Like that builds a lot of credit in the tri-state. So like there's a lot of ways to sell Mike Evans. If Joe Douglas is watching this and you need some help selling Mike Evans, listen, I've got a whole PowerPoint presentation ready if need be. I've been doing it. If I can convince parents to sign over their kids for me to send them to war, I promise you, I can get Mike Evans to consider a deal with the New York Jets, man. Again,
both put your life on the line, right?
I will. I'm telling you right now, bro. Like I think Mike Evans, if he's a New York Jet, I feel so much better about any other. As long as again everything else is thrown into the offensive line, I think Mike Evans specifically by himself, what he does with a healthy Aaron Rodgers, opening up windows for a Breece Hall, open up windows for a Conklin, open up for a Garrett Wilson, bro. I honestly believe the New York Jets can have a top 5, top 10 offense at worst if you bring in Mike Evans and throw every other resource towards the offensive line. But like you said, I think that's a long shot.
Yeah.
So I
do want to comment on this. That offense wins championships that Armand said. Armand, you realize that the score at the end of the fourth quarter was 19-19.
It wasn't.
That does scream New York Jet football.
100%.
So the Chiefs won a Super Bowl the way we should win a Super Bowl. Play defense, keep it tight, have your star quarterback win the game for you late on a game-winning drive. That's going to be Jet football. But here's the thing, though. We have better skills than they do. I know they have the tight end spot. I'll take our receiver. I'll take our running back. And our quarterback is a couple notches below Mahomes.
Patrick Mahomes, yep.
So as much as you say offense wins, the defense, they scored more than 27 points one time from Halloween on.
Yeah.
They may have done it in one of the playoff games. That defense carried them.
That defense carried that
was
team,
not
bro.
the same. That
Patrick
team
Mahomes
won a Super Bowl looking like the Pittsburgh Steelers with Ben Roethlisberger. They played defense, they kept it tight, and they did the game-winning drive late many times this season, including against us. So, as much as you say defense or offense wins championships, we looked at the worst offensive performance as a league in several years this year. The offense regressed in the NFL this season.
It did.
You had a quarterback. We've had quarterbacks winning MVP with 5,000 yards, 50 touchdown passes. We've had several guys throwing for 5,000 yards in a season. We had a quarterback win an MVP with 3,400 because nobody ran away with it statistically. That's why Lamar won MVP, because nobody else ran away with it. And in the San Francisco Baltimore game, Baltimore won. So the media was like, all right, it was national television. Purdy threw a couple picks. We're going to give it to Lamar. Lamar's team is the best record in football. They won the head-to-head. Lamar's the face of the team. We're going to give it to him. Statistically,
it was not even remotely impressive for him to be a unanimous. He was the unanimous MVP again. And I'm sitting here like, who has these votes? Because the numbers were not impressive. Yeah, they won. Got you. But he was literally mid-tier in terms of numbers as a quarter. You know what? I digress. That whole MVP thing kind of frustrated me. You should have just given it to Christian McCaffrey. Call it a day.
And
I'm
if they
salty
would have
about
won that game, they would have.
They
But Lamar
would
would have won because the voters would have been split between Purdy and McCaffrey,
That's true.
and Lamar would have went up. The East Coast voters would have gave it to Lamar. But all right, brother. Well, I appreciate you. Frank C coming and chill. I like Tiki. Frank, thank you for joining. If you're not subbed up already, please do so. If you've been here before, welcome back. So there you have it. Our first Thursday night throwdown. Thank you, Gunny. I know you got to bounce. I will keep it going with the chat, and I will get some feedback. And
you know me, man. I'm gonna be logged in. I want to go ahead and see what goes on. Everybody just walked through the door, so I got to go ahead and finish frying up these pork chops.
Hey, I'll boot you just so you don't mess them up.
My man, listen, I appreciate it, man. Next time,
anytime, man.
You know, when you need me, man, hit me up. You already know. You got my number.
This was Sunday, fun. March 10th.
Jessica says, "What's up?"
Hi, Jess.
He says, "What's up?" It's Nick. Nick says, "What's up?"
Hi, sweetheart. I'm letting him go so he can make the pork chops. Don't yell at me or him.
He's letting me go so I can finish dinner. Listen, I appreciate you, man. Like this is awesome.
Love you,
I like this segment. If you need me next week, say what's good. I'm in.
All right, cool.
All right, brother.
All right, man.
Have a good night, everybody. Appreciate y'all for chopping it up.
Later, pal. So, there you go. That's our first Thursday night throwdown, a weekly segment that we're going to do where we debate. I have different guests on, and we're going to debate the state of the New York Jets, different topics. We'll take either side of it. I'll be honest with you guys. I'm going to give my guests the choice of what side of the discussion that they want, and I'm going to take the other side. So if you don't like my takes, just know that it's for viewing pleasure and your viewing purpose. So a couple things. What's up? I see Dom C's here. Let me catch up in the chat. I know we were talking. I saw Jay's here. Billy SBC, Wild Wave, Dano, Armand, Scott, Harlan. Thanks, guys. Appreciate everyone joining. This will be a new time slot. No more Friday night, Saturday night hangout. We're going to have Thursday nights at 10 o'clock. Right after the Thursday thick of it, we're going to have the Thursday night throwdown. And Sunday nights from 9 to 11. Sunday nights, we're going to do a mock draft in the first hour. I'll try to get some guests, maybe Dom and others popping in on Sundays. And then in the second hour, I might open it up to the callers and have you guys pop on. I know that's something you guys are always asking for. Good news, Dane. I know you have been asking about this more. You've been asking about this more than I've looked into it. I officially submitted monetization today with YouTube. I finally qualified with the watch hours. Thank you all to you fine gentlemen. So there will be super chats in the near future. And I'm trying to think of the membership. Give you guys something cool to do and hopefully join up with. So that'll be fun. With all this Jets content, I don't know when I'm going to find time to chase Trim. I understand. I'm sorry if I interfere, but if you got to miss a show for Trim purposes, go ahead. So, all right. I know I think it was Armand earlier had a question. So let's get into the questions now. You guys got anything you want to discuss? Anything you want to bring up? Go ahead. I'm going to catch up in the chat. Get it back to, here we go. Frank C. I already got the direct line to the show. All right. I'm trying to figure out, is Frank C somebody else? So yeah, let's go, guys. I know you have a lot on your minds. I know the Jets are always on the tip of your tongue. Let's get those questions out. Let me know when you need my offshore account. Hey, I told you, man, if you want to send money through different resources where there's no tax or anything, I will not even say that anymore. I'm on the review. You submit the super chat, Dane. Because I'm going to call to talk to you about the Jets on your show. Got you. Yeah. Yeah, hop in, man. Hop in. Sunday night, second hour. I'll try to have the mock. Oh, let me get this one first. Must Joe Namath go so we can win another chip? No, I want him to be here with all the negativity that he's been spewing last year. I want him to be here for it. Right after we win, then he can mosey on along. But I want him to know that he wasn't the only Jet quarterback to ever win one before passing on to the next life. That's my take. What would you rather have, Bauer or offensive lineman in first round? If we solidify left tackle in free agency and Bauer is there, I have. If Bowers or Neighbors are there, I want them over a tackle. I do. If you have a weapon like Bowers or Neighbors with Wilson, with Brees Hall, those are people that keep defensive coordinators up at night. We would have Bowers, tight end, Wilson, receiver, Brees Hall out of the backfield. We'd have three guys in the passing game to keep defensive coordinators up at night. That's how you win. You make it that the defense can't cover everyone, and now you have the quarterback to facilitate and get the ball spread around and to help everyone succeed. You want to take away A? I'll throw to B. You want to take away B? I'll go to C. That's it. I'm okay with that, Patty. I'm part of me's hoping for that. You said we could have had Josh Allen at one point. Was it the pass rusher or QB? Oh, Chris Sims. I met Chris Sims at my son's football program that I was coaching at in the summer of it was the summer of 2018. And I talked to him, and my buddy was the security manager at the Showtime building. And and he talked to him, and he's like, oh, he introduced me. He says, my friend Nick, he's a big Jet fan. And I'm talking to Chris for probably like 2 minutes. He goes, I got to tell you, every single person in that building wanted Josh Allen. Mike McCagnon wanted Sam Darnold. And that's the reason he had the final say. Everybody wanted Josh Allen in the Jet building, and Mike McCagnon is the one that pulled the trigger. Yeah, I have a pigeon heading your way. Well, thank you, Scott. I appreciate it. Armand with a question was what to do with Bryce Huff. I don't think you're tagging him because then you're putting all that money on the books, and that's going to affect your ability to be as active as you want to be in free agency. I think they will try to sign him. I think they will make some efforts. I think they have a number that they are not going to go beyond. And if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. I just think that's where they're at. I think they're going to constantly draft D linemen. And if Huff decides he wants to go somewhere else or some crazy offer comes in that the Jets aren't willing to match, I think Huff hits the market. Somebody is going to give him a crazy deal, and the New York Jets are going to get the option to match it. He's going to say, listen, you guys drafted me. You brought me up. Here's the deal. Can you match it or top it? And I'll stay. I think that's what it comes down to. And I'm not mad at the Jets for letting Huff go. Huff has said there's no hometown discount. There's no thank you for drafting me. There's none of that. He wants to get paid. He said it. He wants to get paid. So let him go get paid. Trying to figure out the tax situation isn't all that easy. Yeah. Well, add in some marketing. Bring in the big marketing advertising companies from New York and have that be part of your pitch. We're going to offer you 3 years, $75 million, which $25 million a year is not nuts for Evans. But we're also going to get you $200 million off the field. Here's a watch advertisement. Here's everything else. All the advertisements you can think of. Here's Dunkin' Donuts. Here's everything. You're going to get. Oh, Tigo, he became available? That's who was about to be announced. Go get Cam Robinson's available? Huh. All right, yeah, back to back. They cut him, huh? I don't think he'd be plan A for me. I'd have to look more into him. I would still go if Tyron Smith is available. I would still take Tyron Smith. I know he's been banged up here and there, but when he plays, you know that your quarterback's backside is safe. What are we going to do at QB after Rodgers? Hopefully, just have the guy take a knee and a couple of the blowout wins next year. Hank, I'm not. Oh, you mean after, not if he goes down. You mean after. Well, this is a day and era where veteran quarterbacks with starting experience are moving more than ever. So I don't think we have to answer that question today. Rodgers became available. Wilson became available, or Russell Wilson's expected to become available. Not that I want him, but he's been available twice. He's a guy who's been a long-time starter. I hope Rodgers plays for 2 years. And next year, we go get that answer. Next year, if we got to give up future picks to go up and get a quarterback in the 2025 draft, I'm okay with that. I know it's not a great quarterback class, but guys always rise. Go get somebody to sit behind Rodgers for a year, maybe 2. Maybe Rodgers still loves playing, wants to do 3 years in New York. I'm all for it. But I don't think we have to answer that today. Is there a better bet than 8 for comeback player of the year? Burrow and Herbert. I think they're all equals because it's a quarterback-driven league. You got 3 guys who are elite passers coming back. We don't know what the Harbaugh system is going to be with Herbert. We know Burrow, when Burrow plays a full season, Burrow's going to have big numbers. I don't think it's a lock that it's Rodgers, to completely honest with you. And I will add this to it. I think Breece Hall is the offense next year. I think Breece Hall is McCaffrey next year. I think he puts up McCaffrey-esque numbers. I think Breece is close to 20 touchdowns. I think he's over 2,000 total yards. I think Breece in year 2 after the surgery is going to be better. Holes are going to be open. Be less guys in the box. That's what she said. And there will be ample opportunity for Breece to break runs. So I don't think 8 would be my bet right now, and I'm a gambler. But put it this way. I hope he wins. I hope he wins MVP, comeback player of the year. Breece gets offensive player of the year. I hope we steal the awards on Super Bowl week next year as we're getting ready to play. But then it's the same situation. I don't think Devontae is a possibility. You don't campaign for a coach. The coach gets hired. You're not going to ask out after that. If they would have went a different route, I think Devontae could have asked out. I don't think he's going to ask out now, Billy. I really don't. He got what he asked for. He built the home out there. He asked to be traded there. I know it didn't work out. They got rid of Carr, which I thought was a pretty dick move by the Raiders. Like, this guy came there to be with Carr. I know the quarterback situation is a question mark right now. Maybe I will not put it past Devontae Adams as being a guy who says, hey, I want out. He did it in Green Bay. He'll do it again if he's not happy. So, excuse me. Yeah, I wouldn't sleep on it. But as of now, as the gambling man I am, like I just said, I can't see it. Redheads or blondes? I like brunette. Shorter than 5'2", brunette, thick. That's me. That's me, Johnny. Oh, Gunny sent me a video of the pork chops. I'm scared to take this. I'm scared to take it. Not a question, but worth replying to. I'm scared of taking tight. I don't view Bowers as a tight end. It's not like we're drafting a Kyle Brady or an Anthony Becht. We're drafting an elite weapon. We're drafting a guy who is a mismatch. You can't put a linebacker on him. You can't put a safety on him. You can't put a corner on him out wide. We're drafting a guy who Kyle Pitts was sold to us as a generational tight end. I see Kyle Pitts as a Plaxico Burress of tight ends. Tall, throw it up to him, he'll get it. Bowers, you go watch Georgia film on Bowers. They design pass plays to get him the ball in space where his yak is ridiculous for a tight end. You don't see that very often from a tight end. Yeah, Eminon, welcome, my friend. Hit the like button. Yes, sir. Those who new in the chat, Thursday night throwdown following Thursday night thick of it with Green Bean and Gunny. It's going to be a little debate show here every Thursday night at 10 o'clock. Sunday nights, 9 to 11. Super chats available hopefully in a week or two. Under review right now. It's been submitted. Okay, I think they're out of the picture anyway. I really do. Do some wacky shit like bringing in Connor Williams and back the area tackle, drafting a tackle. So it's going to be Latham. He keeps laking. Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised with that. No, I really wouldn't. With the sell being that he's a 3, but he's got 2 potential. I like Curtis Samuel. I do. And if you get a tackle and a guard / center in free agency, you get 2 guys who could start in free agency. Man, how great would it be getting Curtis Samuel and then drafting Odunze at 10? Now you have one of, if not the best receiving groups in the NFL. I think Curtis Samuel is underrated because of the quarterback play that's been there in Washington. He's a nice weapon. He's a poor man's Debo to me. And I think he would be really, really exciting here. I do. I think it would be one of those free agent guys who isn't expected to do a lot, but does amazing. Match him up with Rodgers. Say, hey, Rodgers got 2 years left. We're going to give you 2 years. Unpopular opinion. I love unpopular opinions. Those are great conversation starters, Frank. Unpopular opinion, but I think we should let Huff walk and make way for more snaps for McDonald. I believe we could develop pass rushers. Look at the leap JJ took. Same thing would be for Will. I agree. I think Huff is going to walk. I think Huff wants to walk. I think Huff is just about making the money. He said it himself when Stamini asked him. It wouldn't be my choice, but considering the money that's tied up, yeah, unfortunately, time and place is everything, and it's just a bad time and a bad place to be financially with. Now, who knows? You restructure CJ, you restructure a couple guys, you make some cuts, you cut JFM, and you open up $50 million. Now, maybe it's a possibility. Maybe, you load it with bonuses. Oh. My Lions took a good tight end, Laporta. Yeah, they did. They took a good one. He fits that passing attack very well. He does, Patty. Yes, they didn't draft him, but they developed him Forgive me if I misspoke with that. You're correct. Let's say we solidify O-line. Would you trade up for one of the top 3 wide receivers? No. No, this wide receiver draft is too deep. I could see trading back, getting a 2 to use on a wide receiver. And I'll be honest with you. If we solidify line in free agency, we get a left tackle and a right tackle, or a left tackle and a guard where we can keep AVT a tackle for this season, as Tigo mentions, then I'm telling you, don't sleep on defensive line. Don't. Who do we have coming back right now? Who's under contract? JJ, McDonald, Quinnen, Clemens, and JFM. That's 5. Solomon's a free agent. I expect him to be back. I think JFM gets cut, so we're still at 5. We need a run stuffer, probably through free agency. We're probably going to take a run stuffer, big body, late in the draft. Potentially Tanzel Smart gets a bump up to the regular roster instead of the yo-yo game that got played last year. You're going to need another pass rusher. So don't sleep on it. In a draft, like the movie guy, in a world where the first edge rusher usually goes in the top 5. Thibodeau went in the top 5. Von Miller's gone in the top 5. All these edge rushers go in the top 5. Bosa, Garrett. You're looking at a year where the edge rushers are good, but they're not generational guys. But Turner and Latu and Verse potentially being there in the teens because of the run on offensive players early. Murphy, Newton still being there. Those are 5 guys. I didn't even name cornerbacks. Not that we would take cornerback, but when other guys are getting picked, 3 receivers, tight end, 3 quarterbacks, 3 offensive linemen, those defenders are going to be there in the teens. I wouldn't sleep on the Jets sliding back, taking one of those guys, and then getting a receiver in round 2 if we solidify the offensive line with starters in free agency. Let Huff walk, prove that the defense is a viable system. It is. Look what the Niners did. The Niners kept drafting lineman after lineman after lineman on the D-line. Is OT 1 for the Jets or no? Okay. What's his age, Tigo? Kim is perfect. AVT. Man, I pray AVT just plays one season. I'm going to catch up in the questions, and then we're going to do some AVT talk. And we'll make a good swing. How about Rogers? Something to that. I'm going to say I'm very happy that, and this is no knock on what the guy went through as a human being, but there was no reason Damar Hamlin should have ever been on the comeback player of the year. Surviving that night was the comeback. Playing a couple plays this season, and he had more of a negative impact than anything. And I know he was the betting favorite all year, but he shouldn't have won that award. He barely touched the field. He played like 5 more plays than me and you combined. After Rodgers doesn't work out for most of the time. Yeah. We'll see. We never know what tomorrow brings. To try to predict the Jets 3 weeks from now is impossible. To try to predict them 2-3 years from now, put it this way. I hope we win a Super Bowl and we don't have to give a shit about the future. We're like, fucking draft anyone. Who cares? We won a Super Bowl. Wild Wave, agree. Brees' offense. Vegas going to draft J.J. McCarthy. I hope they trade up with us. That'd be ideal, Patty. If Vegas says we're going to jump up from 13 to 10 because J.J. McCarthy's there, New York Jets, take our 2, give us one of your 7s, and we'll swap. Done. Done in a heartbeat. Renfro, Mike Williams. Man, Mike Williams been injured, though, the last couple of years, man. skills are the one place that we haven't had significant injury. I mean, at receiver, Brees last year. I'm going to drink out of this thing more often. This thing keeps the coffee hot. I made this coffee at 9:43. It's still hot. It's better than the mug. All right, let me see. Any more questions? Boom, boom, boom. Diego, you're not going to like this take. I think Max Mitchell might be done. I think that they saw regression in him in year 2. And I don't think that I think they'll try to get him through the waivers and the practice squad this year. I think they're going to look for better output from their backups with the amount of injuries that we went through. I really do. Yeah, Frank. Now, his wife, with the jackets and everything that she's making, that's somebody who would say, get me to New York. Get me marketed in New York. No, I'm happy. 1.5 year birthday. Yeah. No, Tigo, I know Tanzel is signed. I'm talking about him just being a regular in the 10-man rotation, not 11th, 12th guy who's up, he's waived, he's practice squad, he's activated, like the yo-yo. Put him on the roster, include him in your top 10, and let him just see what he can do going week to week. I hear you, Jay. I hear you. But we have to factor in that they may address offense in free agency and draft guys that they can develop on defense. They've proven they can draft and develop guys on defense. They can pick guys up on the waiver wire like Quincy, Tony Adams. Huff was undrafted and developed. JJ flew up in year 2. So don't sleep on it. Don't sleep on them getting savvy veterans to come in to solidify the offense so that they're ready day one and you don't have to wait for guys to develop. You let your defense carry you early. You let Brees Hall carry you early. And then you let veteran guys do what veterans do, make plays in key times throughout the season. If you want a friend, but no pressure. Tigo, I'm gonna end this in 5 minutes. I planned on only doing an hour tonight. I'm trying to catch up in the chat and then I'm gonna end it. Thank you though. But Sunday night, we'll talk. I want to do a mock in hour 1. Sundays 9 to 11. Hey, New York Jet fan 4. Welcome, brother. Olu Smith, McGovern, Tidman, EBT, BB, Warren Jones, Herbig. All right. You got a plan. Oh, man. Cooper Beebe. I would love him. Him or Christian Haynes. If I'm the Jets, if I can get Tyron Smith at left tackle and I can get a weapon in round 1, I am then taking my 3 and a 4 or a 3 and both 4s, and I'm moving up and getting Christian Haynes. If I can get Tyron Smith, Christian Haynes, and one of the weapons at 10, now you're talking about potential for an elite offense. You re-sign McGovern. Yeah, I love it. I love it. Cooper Beebe, Christian Haynes, All-Americans. Haynes was an All-American. Beebe and the kid from Oregon, CJP. But he'll go first round. So I want to thank all you guys for hanging out. This is awesome. So just more news for the channel. Monetization has been submitted. Super chats will be available very shortly. Memberships, which I'm working on the idea. Sunday Shine Time. Sunday Time to Shine. I'm working on the name for Sunday show. It's going to be 9 to 11 on Sunday nights. We'll most likely do a mock in the first hour. I'll have a guest on for the mock, and then we'll open it up to you guys. You know, you guys are constantly asking for a call-in show on a consistent basis, And I do this for you guys. This is awesome hanging out with you, talking to you. I'm very appreciative of it. You have no idea how much it means to me. It's helped me. I'm almost a year sober. This shit helps me, man. Your friendship, your camaraderie, your communication in the chat, messaging me on different platforms, asking when I go on a little bit of a mental hiatus, when I'm going to do a show. I appreciate you guys more than you'll ever know. So I want to give back to you because you guys give me so much. So enough of that. Enough of that mush. But yeah, Sunday nights 9 to 11, hour 2. We will have call-ins. I will not have Jeremy logging off, signing off the show. Oh, hang on. Current comment. Boom. If I went live, would anyone want to hang out? I'm bored. All right, Tigo. You know what? Let's hang. You want to come on, or do you want to do your own? It's your call. If you come in, I gotta get up and use the bathroom. If you want to hang, Tigo, I'll shoot you the link. Your call. You let me know. We got a good crowd here anyway, so let's keep it going. I am not in the right now seeing messages. I'm trying to send this message to Tigo on Twitter. Boom, 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 boom. Tigo, it's coming in now. Oh, did I just close? Nope, there we go. Ooh. Hey, Scott. I try. Yeah, Tigo, I sent it. I sent it in Twitter, brother. Oh, what are we doing there? Thanks, Scott. I appreciate that, man. How about a midnight mass? What do you want? I was senior altar boy at St. Cecilia's in Isla, New Jersey in 1992. So, what's up, my man?
Hello, friends. I'm gonna have some nighttime darkness with Tigo hanging
I like
out.
it.
was
I think it
bored,
looks
man.
better, man.
No, I get
think-
I get washed out. So when the lights come on, you can see me. I can be more expressive. But the lights get hot. I'm just hanging
You are
out.
too fucking animated. Don't worry, bro. They'll see you move around. Like, you know what you got to do? You got to do what
What's
they
that?
give out at the jet game. You got to keep some of the bracelets. And then when you
Yeah.
throw your arms around in your rants, the whole room is like glowing with it. It's like glow sticks back at clubs in the
I
90s.
have one. I have one from the home opener, but they just don't work.
I know. It's synced with them.
Which
Go ahead.
sucks.
Talk. I got to use the bathroom.
Yeah, no, I just wanted to hang out. What does the chat want to talk about? Let me know, chat. What
Yeah.
are you
Yeah,
guys
go ahead.
interested? Because I was like I said,
You can see the chat, right? You can control the chat and go upward, right?
I can't
You can scroll back.
Yeah, I can see the chat. I can't put it on screen and stuff, but yeah, I can see the chat.
No, but at least you can see the questions and stuff. All right, give me 2 minutes.
Yeah, dude, go use the bathroom. You're fine. So yeah. Taxi Confessions HBO, that's a good one. Oh yeah, man. Just hanging out, killing time. I think one of the things that I think is really interesting that I'm really excited about is the fact that more and more teams are in a lot of cap hell. More and more teams that I don't think we expected to be in cap hell are in cap hell. And like what I mean by that is like there were two names that came out today that I wasn't expecting at tackle. So like Cam Robinson was the big one, obviously, and I mentioned how if I was the New York Jets and like he's my number one target at this moment. If the Jets go offensive tackle in free agency, like he is my number one target right now. It's not even close. But that's a really good option. There's one more guy. Give me a second and I'll tell you his name because I don't remember it off the top of my head. Now, if he becomes available, he becomes offensive tackle 2, in my opinion. And that is, Garrett Bowles out of Denver. Like, he might actually be offensive tackle 1 if he becomes available. But, like, again, it's another one of those guys where it's just like, dude, these are really good tackles that might become available, not because of them being bad, but because the teams that they're on are in absolutely horrible cap situations, and especially a team like Denver, right? He's their current left tackle right now. They're trying to free up space because they want to move on from Russell Wilson, and the Russell Wilson dead cap hit is going to be astronomically high, and it's just going to be insane. So if it's me, those two guys, if they become available, you immediately go after them. And if I'm being honest, I would call those teams about a trade. Like, if they're going to cut them anyway, if that's the conversation that they're having, anyway, is about cutting them, dude, I'll trade for them and then bring them in there and give them a new deal to keep them around. So that's the whole situation. And Foster, that's a great point. I wonder how he feels about Hackett. Bowles was one of the people who came out and defended Hackett in the whole situation that happened, I believe. One of the from what I remember, one of the offensive linemen came to the defense of Hackett, saying that the problems in Denver came from outside of the head coaching situation. But again, like, Bowles is a guy that's familiar with the offensive scheme. He's familiar with the whole situation. Like, that's the whole thing. So if either one of those guys became available, they instantly become my number one target. And I would throw them the bag. I would pay them as top 5 tackles in the NFL. I'm curious as what the cash over the cap. What's the contract situation? Offensive tackles, because there's 2 that I discovered today might become available. Obviously, I mentioned it in the chat. Cam Robinson, the left tackle for the Jacksonville Jaguars. But the other one is Garrett Bowles, the left tackle for Denver. Okay. And it's just like, dude, if either one of those guys became available, I would pay them. I'd give them Trent Williams money easily, because Trent signed his deal forever ago. Yeah, either one of them. Maybe not Trent. I'd make them the number 5 highest paid tackle in the NFL. I'd give them $20 million a year, right? Bakhtiari right now is at 23 per. Trent Williams is at 23 per. Andrew Thomas is at 23.5 per, and Laramie Tunsil is at 25 per. None of those guys are Laramie Tunsil. They should not get close to his deal. But I think both of those guys probably deserve to be in that $20 to $22 million range. I would give each one of those guys that contract for 4 years. Like, easily.
Taxi
Cam Robinson right now is technically a $17.5 million contract, so he's probably going to want a pay bump. I would give it to him, like, immediately. Either one of those guys. I think they're both.
What's he, like 27, 28?
Cam is 28. Garrett Bowles is 31. So again, 4 offensive tackles. That's not old. You know, so if either one of those guys become available, they instantly become target number 1. And I would get to the point of probably being reckless. And I'd, like, if it came down to, like, oh, there's 2 teams trying to offer them, or there's 2 I would get reckless, and I'd be like, okay, screw it. Do you want the Laramie Tunsil contract? And, like, let's be clear, they don't deserve it. They're not Laramie. Laramie Tunsil is the second best.
Desperate times, though, man. Desperate times.
But desperate times.
And if you're Joe Douglas, we've never seen desperate Joe Douglas. He's had job security. So I'm very curious to see how he operates. That's like the big question for me.
So,
hey, I got a question for you.
What's up?
You want to come on? You and I debate a lot, mostly in the chat, but you want to come on next Thursday's showdown?
Sure, we're not.
Throwdown?
Next Thursday? Yeah, it should be fine.
Thursday, 10 o'clock. So if you want to come in like 10:15 because
I'll be here at
the
10.
overflow from Green Bean Show. Like, I'll wait for them to finish and then I'll go on. Next week's topic, we'll tease it right now. I'll give you choice. Who is more important to the Jets offense, Garrett Wilson or Breece Hall?
I don't think that's much of a debate. It's Breece Hall.
Really?
I don't think that's much of a debate. Personally,
with Rodgers coming back, I mean, you could debate,
especially with Rodgers coming back.
Well, let's not have it now, but I think you could debate with Rodgers coming back. Wilson's value goes up, right? And they'll both feed off one another. So we'll leave it there.
I'm going to say this now because I'm going to get roasted for a week if people come out with this. Like, I am not saying that I don't like Garrett or like that's not the point. The point is that when you value them, I think Brees's value is much higher than Garrett's for this team and how this offense runs. That's my stance on
Okay.
it. I love
Okay.
Garrett. I don't want him to go anywhere.
No,
I think
Save
that
it for
if
next
we're
week.
gonna
Save it for next
yeah.
week.
I think if we're going to resign anyone,
that's
it's
the tease.
Garrett
We don't
over
want to.
Brees, but
You take Brees, I'll take Garrett. That'll be next week's Thursday night throwdown. And we will add this into it. We're going to debate short term and long term. That way,
that's a
the
different answer.
position that changes it, right?
That's a
it
different
depends
answer.
how do you want to debate it. Next season, you could say Brees. Long term, we know how running
Garrett.
backs are in this league.
Yeah, you can find another running
So
back.
it'll be fun to
Unfortunately,
go back and
it
forth with
sucks
it.
that that's the situation. Okay, I have a question for you.
Shoot.
It seems to be that I am the only person who is kind of, and I'm interested to hear your thoughts on this. Seems to be that I'm the only person who's like really interested in this free agent running back class that's coming up, because I think people are sleeping on the fact that technically we only have Brees Hall and Israel Abanikanda on the roster, right? We don't have Dalvin Cook anymore.
Yeah.
We don't have Michael Carter anymore. Like we don't have anybody that's going to come onto the team. And the way that I look at it is this is arguably one of the best free agent running back classes I think we're ever going to see. Saquon's not expected to get the tag. Josh Jacobs isn't expected to get the tag again. Derrick Henry's not going to get the tag. Austin Eckler's not going to get the tag. Tony Pollard's not going to get the tag. Gus Edwards, Ezekiel Elliott, Devin Singletary, Devondre Swift, Boston Scott, Donta Foreman. This is a J.K. Dobbins. This is a really, really good running back class. And I feel like I am the only person in this kind of place where it's just like, dude, Austin Eckler just came off of one of his worst years ever. I think we should capitalize on that and give him like a 2-year, give him the Dalvin Cook contract, right? 2 year, but for 2 years instead of 1, 2 years, $14 million. So he'd be at like 7.
Okay.
And just partner him with Aaron Rodgers and just have literally the best running back room in the NFL. What are your, not specifically about Austin Eckler. That's just the guy that I've kind of singled just because I feel like you can take advantage of the fact that he had a bad year. But how do you feel about this running back class? Do you think that it's a priority in free agency? Do you feel like we just go to the draft and say, screw it, we'll just get one in the 4th or the 5th round, even though this isn't a great running back class in the draft? Like, how do you look at that position group for the Jets next season?
Eckler or Barkley are the prize free agent signing of the Bears. I think the Bears have too much money. I think Herbert is a nice number 2 back. As you saw the year before, he was a nice change of pace to Montgomery before Montgomery went to the Lions. I think the Bears go and they pay Barkley or Eckler the contracts that they want that they didn't get. I will say this kind of tongue-in-cheek. I don't expect it, but it would be kind of fun if Saquon was like, you know what? I like where I live. I'll take a discount to go to the Jets. You didn't treat me right, Giants. I'm going to rub it in your face. I'm going to stay here. I'm going to take less money than you were offering me on a 1-year deal, and I'm going to go team up there.
And you grew up a Jets fan.
Exactly.
His dad is still a Jets fan.
Yeah, I know.
Huge.
I don't think
his dad will wear the Giants blue.
Stick it to the Giants. All those Barkley jerseys, they'd be unwearable. They would be unwearable.
The only
Shane,
concern I have with a guy like Barkley.
Let me just add this one real quick.
Oh, go ahead.
Shane, I think it was on a Wednesday show with Jeremy, and I said, Christian Wilkins, if he hits the market,
throw 20 mil.
You got to go. You got to go. You got to be like, hey, can we give
I would do it.
I give him the same contract of Quinnen.
No.
I give him the same exact numbers of Quinnen. What?
No, he is not anywhere near as good as Quinnen.
Oh, but together?
Doesn't matter. He should not be on that contract. I get what you're saying. I love the player. I love the player.
Maybe you give shorter years, but the same amount per average per.
No.
Oh man.
He shouldn't be. He shouldn't be there. Quinnen is the second highest paid interior defensive lineman for a reason. Wilkins, whatever.
Third.
Wilkins. No, he's second. No, he's second.
Per year
goes
or
per
total
year.
value of the contract?
No, average per year. He's second.
No, Jones and Donald are above him.
Jones isn't under contract. He doesn't have a contract.
Well,
He's a free agent.
last season he got paid more. Didn't he get paid 28 last year?
No, he got 20.
Oh,
Still would have been
28.
under. Yeah, still would have been.
Oh, his
way,
franchise tag would be 28 this year.
Yes,
28 or
so
32.
Either way,
something crazy.
Either way,
I would love it.
I would not.
You know
give
me.
him that,
I love
but
defense.
I would give
I'd
him
win
20.
a 6-3 game and be happy.
I would give him 20. I'd give him 20 easily.
Somebody will pay him more.
I don't
Somebody will
think so.
pay him 5 years, 130. Somebody will pay him a massive, massive contract.
I don't think
Keep
so.
an eye on the Bears. The Bears have
the Bears
money.
are going to throw money, and the Bears need everything because the offense isn't the issue in Chirac. Dude, if they get themselves a guard, and then like they need an interior defensive lineman, they need somebody on the other side of Montez Sweat. Like, dude, watch out because them. And here's the best part: they went and they got Cliff Kingsbury to be their OC, right?
Weird.
It's Cliff. Cliff went to Chicago, right?
Scott, good question. I'm sorry. Have we ever had a season with more offensive tackle talk? Yes, last year.
And last year we didn't even need one as badly as we need one this year. Well, hindsight is 2020, but
do you forget the hysteria when the Steelers drafted Broderick Jones? I
He
know every
didn't
day
start.
Jets Twitter sets its own new fire and says, what's the end of the world today? But do you remember the hysteria that Broderick Jones? So last year's tackle talk was fucking insane. People wanted Becton cut. They didn't even want him on the roster. Like, are we forgetting all of the talk about tackle last year?
Yeah, you were the one who wanted him cut.
I didn't want him
I'm
cut.
kidding.
I would. No, I'll clarify it. I'll clarify it.
Cliff went to Washington.
Said I could not let him go into training camp written in as a starter. Let him earn it. And he did earn it.
Yep.
And then he showed he didn't deserve it.
He was still hurt. I think he's going to have a.
That's the
good
thing, though.
bounce
I
back.
think he will always be. I don't think he will ever bounce back unless he moves into guard. And I think his ego is too big to ever move into guard.
I don't think he works at guard. I think he plays left tackle next year, another full year on the knee. He gets more comfortable with it. New show, new place.
Yeah, sure. No, we're gonna hang Snowball. I was solo after Gunny bounced out, but Tigo popped in. We got 35 guys here in the chat. Thank you guys.
Would not
Very
be
good showing
surprised
by you guys.
You're right. Cliff did go to Washington. I would not be surprised if Washington tries to go up to 1 to get Caleb.
Hey, Albert, Anthony. Let me say hello. Sean McAteer's here. Albert just popped in. AP, the Washington fan, is here. Let me see if anyone else popping in new. I said hello to Shane. Thanks, guys. Thanks for hanging out. Yeah, I thought this Thursday night time slot, 10 o'clock, right after, the green bean thick of it, would be a nice little time slot to get for myself. And then you guys get used to knowing we go from green bean over to Nick on Thursdays. So thank you. 35 people in the chat here at 11:30 at night. So you guys are awesome. All right, let's get back into it.
I do not.
The tackle. We're going to spend big money, I think, on one guy, and I think we're going to bargain hunt on some others. I think Curtis Samuel's the bargain hunt at wide receiver. Top 10 free agent for wide receiver available. Maybe moves up to top 7 after a couple guys get tagged, right? But I think Curtis Samuel is a nice fit. I think he is what if Randall Cobb was good with Rodgers, I can't wait to see what someone like Curtis Samuel could do. Bigger frame, bigger body, works over the middle well, does the end arounds. He's a physical receiver, I would love to give me Curtis Samuel. I'm okay. How about this? Connor McGovern on another veteran minimum deal.
That's gonna happen. He's
right.
Playing, he's week 1
the
starting.
Week after the draft, right? Week after the draft.
You probably do it the day the thing opens up. You need a backup center.
But do you wait? Didn't we do it late last year? We did it after the draft,
yeah,
right?
but we did it after the draft because McGovern was trying to get big money. He was trying to negotiate
Agreed.
himself onto a team. This time it's going to be different. And I know people aren't going to be a fan of this. I think that the New York Jets want Joe Tippmann to end up at guard, which makes a ton of sense. He struggles mightily in the shotgun passing because he didn't have to do it at Wisconsin at all. And so, like, I love Joe Tippmann, and I think that his home is at right guard on our offensive line. And so the easy solution there is just bring back Connor McGovern, who has been our starting center for a long time. And you even mentioned it, was it whatever, that, like, dude, Wes Schweitzer is still on the roster.
Underrated. He was
And
playing
I'm
well
not
before he
saying
got
he's
hurt.
great. I'm not saying he's great. And
But
I'm
your
not even saying
backup
he should be a
swing
starter.
guard center?
He's good enough to where you're just like, if Wes has to be center,
Hey,
like,
Dave.
but by between two people, but between like Zinter and Tippmann, or Haynes and Tippmann, or Van Pran and Tippmann, or like whatever it is that you do, like you just get two better guards, or like Lakin next to a top 5 protection tackle so that maybe he looks better with a guy who plays closer to what Trent Williams is, right? Because that's what a lot of these. All I'm saying is,
Nice, Nova.
that's a great name. All I'm saying is there's a lot of options there to do something interesting. But going back to what you were saying about the wide receivers, I agree. I would not be surprised if we went bargain hunting in the wide receiver room and brought in 2 under $10 million guys onto the team. I don't think
Curtis Samuel. Here's 3 years, $27 million.
I don't think Curtis Samuel is like, this is good. I don't think he's a real option because I think he's going to command more. I love Curtis Samuel.
All right.
I just
you like the option. You just think he's going to get priced out for us.
I think he's going to get priced out for. I love him. He is, in my opinion, he's the guy that like we should be going after. Is a guy like Curtis Samuel, because he's like great. But my fear is there a world in which he gets over? I don't want to go over 10. Is there a world in which he takes a 2-year, $18 million deal, 11-ish million dollars guaranteed? Is there a world in which he takes that? You know what I mean?
You know the problem for any wide receiver that we're going to want to sign, right? You're paying Alan Lazard 4 years, $44 million. How are you offering me less than him?
Well, because of
that's
going to
be a problem.
Nah, I don't think it will be because the Chiefs just won the Super Bowl without paying for wide receivers. I think the Chiefs winning the Super Bowl with no wide receivers, while the San Francisco 49ers losing the Super Bowl with essentially 4, right? Because Kittle and McCaffrey are insanely good. And then the guy who threw and caught the touchdown, I forget his name, who's also going to become a free agent this offseason. What's his name? Somebody in the chat will know.
From where?
From the 49ers. He threw the touchdown and caught the touchdown.
Juwan Jennings.
He might be.
Oh, by the way, on the IOW show with Lamar and Jamel, I called the week of the Super Bowl. You know, Lamar's a Chiefs fan. And I was like, I'm going to tell you right now, if the 49ers win this game, Juwan Jennings is going to be the surprise, like David Tyree with the helmet catch. I was like, Juwan Jennings is going to be the guy that makes the play. And he would have, if they held on and won, it would have been dead. He would have been Super Bowl MVP if the 49ers won that game in regulation. Yeah. Juwan Jennings would have been the Super Bowl MVP.
Yep. And so, like, again, I love me some Curtis Samuel, but I would not be surprised if the New York Jets went bargain bin hunting in the wide receiver market, and you end up with, I know people aren't going to like this, I think OBJ is coming to the Jets. I think he's going to be here this offseason.
You want to give him the McCall Hardman contract? I'm okay with that. You want to give him 1 year, $6 million?
No,
I'm okay with
10.
that.
After playing all year in Baltimore,
and
he did well in Baltimore, he's going to get a $10 million contract. I'm cool with it. I'm cool with that personally. Like, it's incentive laden. It'll be like $7 million guaranteed with incentives that can get him up to 10. But like, you can do that. And so like, if you can get, like, let's have this conversation. Let's say
All right.
you go into free agency at wide receiver and you throw big money, $24 million at Cam Robinson or Bowles, or do something along those lines, right?
Okay.
And then you go in the wide receiver market and you go and you get Kendrick Bourne and DJ Chark for $7 million each. That's not that bad. They're not great. Like, they're not great wide receivers. Like, I'm not sitting here and saying that they are, but that's not horrible. You know, I'd love Curtis Samuel. So, like, I'm just saying.
I got you. Sorry. I got to go to ShopRite tomorrow. I was putting my little ShopRite order together. You know what I love to do? Instead of making the list like everyone used to do, I put my list in the ShopRite app, and then I delete it as I go. And then if you have trouble finding something, you click on the item, and it tells you aisle 22. It's
You do that all
fantastic.
the time. It's the best.
It's fantastic.
It's great.
John Jennings. I listen, man. I hit on that 2 years ago. I hit on 23-20 with the Bengals Super Bowl. I cashed in. I got receipts. I could show you. I had a dream, and someone said 31-23.
But, like, real quick, with the people saying that Odell didn't do well in Baltimore, like, what are you
say
guys
it
talking
so I
about?
don't have to. Please say it so I don't have to.
What are you talking about? He almost went
With
for
Odell.
600 yards, 3 touchdowns, and with fucking a running back at quarterback.
Thank you.
That's a really good year for a guy who was wide receiver 3 for that team, who's coming in to be wide receiver 3 for this team. If you can get 600 yards and 3 to 5 touchdowns from wide receiver 3, bro, that's great. That's a great option. Like, that's solid.
Here's
14
Jawan
games.
Jennings. A couple people asking about Jawan Jennings. Jawan Jennings is a guy who goes to the Chiefs and catches the game-winning touchdown next year for them.
Whoa, wild wave. I didn't say 13 million. Who said 13 million? I said 7 with incentives that can take him to 10. That's what I said. No, I don't
could
think
see
anybody
Jawan
said 13.
Jennings possibly getting from a desperate team the Allen Lazard contract. I could see 4 for 44 for Jawan Jennings.
I don't think
He's
teams
tall.
are
He
going to
can
get there.
throw. He
I don't think.
Whenever Debo goes down, he makes big plays.
Oh yeah, I'm not. This is anti.
I'm not
This is
saying
not
we
an
do it.
anti Jawan Jennings. I'm
No.
thinking.
I'm not
I
saying
think
we
that-
do it, but
Yeah.
I think somebody wide receiver desperate, the New York Giants, will go 4 years, 44 to give him a bigger role.
Yeah, no, because they're gonna go. They're either gonna go big, like wide receiver 1, like huge wide receiver 1, or they're gonna stick and pick at 6. You have to remember that they have drafted a ton of like middle of the pack wide receivers for that team. Like, I mean, a ton of them, right? And like recently. So you're looking at like Jalen Hyatt, Wan'Dale Robinson. Like, there's a lot of guys on that team that are like relatively young that they're still excited about. I think they're looking for they're just looking for their X, like their guy. And just to be clear, OBJ is not wide receiver 2. He would be wide receiver 3. That's the point. Like, the whole point is that you're just bringing in more depth. Odell Beckham is objectively better than Allen Lazard, and he wouldn't be all that expensive. And like, if you can get Curtis Samuel, like, let's say you think Curtis Samuel takes 9 per. Think that makes sense? You think he would do 2 years?
I said
18?
3 for 27. That's 9. I said 3 for 27. I mean, I think that would be a nice deal for him.
If he takes that, I would offer it to him. I would offer him 3 for 27. 3 for 27.
Yeah.
21 million guaranteed.
He's 27 years old. How about this? How about you say, all right, we'll give you 2 for 18. You're linked up with Rodgers for the 2 years. You maximize your value, and now you're 29 years old, going on a big deal after that.
It might even make more sense for him to get 2 years.
Use us for 2 years with Rodgers. Maximize your value and go get paid after that. Don't
20.
commit now. Go earn the bigger money when the bigger money will be out there in 2 years.
Yep. And especially because 2 years from now, it'll be post the new TV deal. So the cap will explode, and so will player contracts.
No, not yet.
Yeah, isn't it in 26 the new TV deals come in?
I thought it starts in 28. That's why I thought all the quarterbacks were signing 5-year deals last year so they can be free agents again when the new money hits.
I thought it was 26. Chat, find it. Tell me. I thought it was 26. I could be wrong, but I
I'll
thought
look
it
it
was
up.
26. But yeah, there's just a lot of wide receivers that I think that are going to get like average-ish money, and I'm cool with giving average-ish money. You know, like I'd be cool with bringing in Gabe Davis.
Oh, somebody asked this earlier. It's loading right now. I hate when you click on a link that goes to the NFL mobile app and it like brings you up to like videos. Just give me the fucking. All right.
Awful.
NFL cap expected to exceed 240 million this year.
Yeah, the projections right now are 242, 43.
And
And then
it's increased
from
from a
someone that I
record.
was able to have a
That's
conversation
16
with.
million more.
Yeah, but if you look at
So it was
websites like
224.8 and it's projected to go to 240.
yeah, no, it'll be north of 240.
So that was the first thing that came up with future cap. Let me get the
project. If you go to like Spotrac or Over the Cap, they have a projection of 242 million. And I saw a report that said someone who is familiar with the cap and works for the NFL, when they were told 243 million, they had one thing to say, and that was more. So they're thinking that the cap is going to go way up because the cap is dictated by the revenue, and the revenue this year exceeded that of their expectation.
All right, so the new CBA expires in March 2030. That's what I was looking for. But something's got to be because Hurts, Burrow, Lamar, they all signed the 5-year deals, right? Because they want to be free again at that time when the money explodes. You know, normally you see quarterbacks. Mahomes took the 10-year deal, right? He just redoes his deal every year. So it doesn't matter. Yeah, mess. Great point. Again, I want to thank all you guys for hanging out, man. The crowd's getting bigger as the night goes on. Thanks for being here. Thursday nights. Now, I'm going to keep plugging to let you guys know. This is week 1 of it. It's a Thursday night throwdown. I'll have a guest on. I had Gunny on earlier in the beginning of the show. And what we'll do is we're going to debate a Jets topic, take different sides of it. And then if the crowd is still here, which you guys are, we'll hang out longer. Tigo jumped in from the chat. And on Sunday nights from 9 to 11, I'm going to have a show. And we'll do a mock in the first hour. And then I'm going to open it up to you guys. You guys are always asking to call in. You want to call in show on a consistent basis. Sunday nights, I'm going to open it up to you guys. We could figure it out. I don't want to have 5-6 guys coming in at once and be too chaotic, but maybe we'll do 5-10 minute intervals for the second hour and let you guys get on the air. So
the new TV deals happened last year. They were all in 2023.
Yeah. And when's the
and
next
they go
one?
till 2033.
Okay.
It's very interesting.
Past season. Thank you, Adirondack. Yep. Burrow wants to keep T.
I will be right back. I'm going to get a Gatorade.
Yeah. Will the Jets fire the O-line coach? All right, chat. Guess the color of his Gatorade. Whoever guesses the color of his Gatorade first and is correct gets to come on the show Sunday night. You'd be the first guest in the call-in the second hour. Guess the color of Tigo's Gatorade. First one. I'll hide it. Damn it.
What?
I had the chat guessing the color of your Gatorade. Snowball said orange, I think, before it popped up. All right. Snowball was the first one to get it. Oh, is it orange or is it original citrus? Dave put original citrus as his guess.
I don't know. I bought it at Publix.
Are you drinking Tang?
No. It's Gatorade. I buy the big powder thing, and then I make them in 32-ounce jars, and I keep them in the fridge.
That's Tang.
No. Tang
it's way before your time.
No, I grew up with Tang. I didn't like Tang, but I grew up with Tang.
All right, Snowball, Sunday night, 10 o'clock. You could be the first guest on the call-in. So make sure you're around Sunday night, 9 to 10. We'll do a mock. 10 o'clock, second hour call-ins. You are the first guest on Sunday, my friend. Anthony, you
Can
just
I answer
missed
that
out.
question real quick?
Which
the
one?
Billy one? Will the Jets fire their
Billy.
O-line coach?
Oh, yep. Sorry. I got excited to do. I'm a
That's cool.
gambler. We'll just find.
Why would they fire Keith Carter? Because 13 players got hurt, and when he asked for help from his offensive coordinator, he didn't get it? Like, what did Keith Carter do that was so wrong? Mekhi Becton didn't like him? Like, is that it? Like, Mekhi Becton doesn't like the Jets because he thinks he's going to blame us for derailing his career. And so, like, we're going to take, like, Taylor Lewan and an offensive tackle diva because you didn't like Keith Carter? Like, come on, man.
I cringed when you said Taylor.
Like, I'm
just
not
from this
sitting
NFL
here,
season, I cringed at the hearing Taylor. I was like, we're not bringing her up.
I'm not sitting here trying to say that Keith Carter is this great coach or anything like that. But, like, dude, can we give him a fair shake? Can we give him a offensive line that doesn't change every week where he has to come up with a new game plan? Can we give him a season where he doesn't have to get a guard to start playing day one, the guy who's just working at UPS? Can we relax? Like, this is where it's like people get the pitchforks like out way too early. I think it's the same thing that's happening with Hackett. Like, dude, go back and watch those games back. Tell me how many wide receivers were running wide open. Yeah, he didn't adapt and he didn't change and he didn't do all that. Like, I'm not sitting here trying to but like, the play calling wasn't that bad. Was it predictable? Hell yeah, but there were guys running wide open all year. Like, at all. And Billy, who are these players that don't seem to like him? Because I only know of 2 players that publicly came out against Keith Carter. And that was Taylor Lewan, a known diva offensive tackle, and Mekhi Becton, a player who was already blaming the Jets for all of his injury stuff, who already doesn't like this coaching staff. So, like, who else is out there? You didn't hear anything from, any of the other players. I don't know.
Anthony, I'm going to tell you exactly what Tang is. Tang was the white people's Kool-Aid.
Damn.
That's exactly what Tang was.
Billy,
I'll take any arguments. If anyone wants my... That's exactly what Tang was.
That's exactly what it is.
My buddy Onaje and his brother Amir lived across the street. They always had Kool-Aid. I had Tang. And we always joked. How come you don't have Kool-Aid? Oh, we have Tang in this house. I go over there. You got Tang? No, Nick, we always got Kool-Aid. So that was always the joke.
Yeah. And the difference was just like Kool-Aid was always purple and Tang was always orange. Done. And also
that
Billy.
Red Kool-Aid.
No, go ahead.
That red Kool-Aid hit different, man. That you could see,
but it had to be the powder.
Mountain of sugar at the bottom.
Yeah,
I would dump sugar in.
It had to be the powder because if you got those pre-made Kool-Aid, it's not the same.
You was the white people's Kool-Aid.
But yeah, but Billy, the thing is
Yoo-hoo's an underrated drink.
I wasn't a big fan of the chocolate stuff.
Me neither. But for some time, when you were in the mood for it, it hit.
Yeah.
All right.
I just don't think Keith Carter is going to. I don't see why a coach would deter a player from like coming to here because 2 players came out against them. Like, come on, dude. Like, be serious. Because Mekhi Becton, an
you're not firing your offensive line coach now. It's almost March.
Yeah, like, and
like,
that's the whole thing.
You're not firing the guy as you're putting together your off-season plan. You're not going to stop one of the meetings like, oh, wait, we took all his data and input for the last 2 weeks and all these meetings. Oh, we're going to fire you now.
And here's the other thing. What was the best part of our team last year? Was the run game. He's the run game coordinator.
Go watch the Buffalo Bill game. Brees had holes to run through.
Yes.
Vera Tucker was guard. Brown and Becton were the tackles. We know they were poor, but go look at that opening game. I saw all the highlights today from the opening game.
Wasn't bad.
No, the passing attack was good. The pass protection against Buffalo, Zach had some clean pockets to throw from. I will say it again, and all of you are probably sick of hearing me say this. 5-2, and 4-3 the past 2 seasons with the worst quarterback play in the league before we got the injury number 3 with the offensive line and beyond.
Ironically, wasn't it all of those wins before the
Healthy
bye?
linemen are important.
I think dude, obviously you're right. Healthy linemen are important. But if you put Aaron Rodgers even behind that broken offensive line, we get a bunch of
a
it.
question.
Ava Marie
What should
or
I
Addison
name my
Elizabeth?
daughter? Ava Marie or Addison Elizabeth or
Or Addison
Hines?
Inez?
Ines? Yeah, we're saying it the same way. We're sounding. Are these
Okay, so
first question? I have a question for your question, Johnny. Are these your submissions or are these wifey approved?
these are
Are these
wifey approved.
wifey approved names?
He wants to name the kid Ava and she wants to name it Addison.
That's why
I
he
will
put
say
Ava
this.
first.
I will say this. This is not fair because so my sister is having a baby. She's having a daughter and she's naming it Ava. So I like the name Ava Marie just because she's naming her daughter Ava. But I also like Addison Elizabeth is a really, really, really pretty name. Addison Elizabeth
Jimenez.
It's gonna look real good on an application, you know. She'll get the
It's a
minority points
sophisticated
and
name.
the
It's
white
almost
person
too
name.
sophisticated to have Johnny as the dad. But I like the Addison Elizabeth. I would
How do
go
you
with
pronounce
that.
that third one? The middle name of the third one. Spell it out phonetically, Johnny, because I'm actually curious.
Yeah, Jet Fan 4. I had to use the bathroom. I was gonna dip out, and then Tigo decided to hop in, so I was able to get up and relieve myself. I never left. Thank you for coming back in, though. Wild Wave. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go with this. Somebody broke it down, and I keep repeating it. You can contribute some of the offensive line injuries the last 2 years from the poor quarterback play, the not respecting the passing downfield, and more guys being in the box, more bodies getting rolled up on, guys straining more, guys having to deal with more blitzers and guys, more people to block. Getting off one block, getting to the next one, your arm gets caught, your pec tears. There's so many ways that having more guys in the box is a negative thing. That's what she said.
And then also, like, you think about it, like when like they're moving, they got their arms spread out, and they're just trying to do too much.
Inez,
So
his grandmother's name.
that's what I thought. Yeah, I like that one.
Yeah,
Addison
Mess.
Inez Jimenez. That's a nice one. Inez
Mess,
Jimenez. Maybe. Maybe
I'm
not.
on the climb, brother. I'm on the climb, man. It's going to be consistent shows now. It's going to be weekly spots. It's going to help the channel grow. Pretty soon, we'll have a lot of new names popping in. Hopefully, never forget the guys who've been here from the beginning.
I love Jets Mess. I added one extra mess there. He's awesome.
That's fine.
And New York Jets fan 4. Let me be clear here. This is not me saying don't build up the offensive line because Aaron Rodgers is good.
Not crazy about Addison. Sounds like ADD. Attention.
I'm just
ADD
saying that
also could stand for a dumb dad. I'm very good with these. You give me 3 letters, I can come up with a crazy acronym instantaneously. Oh, here's the genuine question. Do either of you creators ever make any PPTs for visual learners like me? That's something I want to evolve into. That's something I want to start doing, is getting on the air graphics. I need to talk to people off air. Tigo, I know you're good with that shit. Maybe we have, like, if you don't mind. You always have graphics.
I'm not good at that stuff.
Like your thumbnails, like making thumbnails and stuff like that too?
Oh, like thumbnails are different. I just have a template that I use. Yeah, but like when it comes to that's the thing that's stopping me from doing it, Dano, is one, I just don't have the time. Stay-at-home dad. I'm a full-time student. So when I make videos, I tend to just one take with maybe the picture of the player coming up. Just because like I just don't have the time. Like I get 15 to 30 minutes right in the middle of the day when both of my kids are asleep. And that's generally when I record my video. So I have to come in, record the video, edit the video, and upload it all before one of my kids wakes up. So it's not like I have a ton of time to dedicate to doing that stuff, just because like my wife is a nurse. So when she's out, she's gone for like 12 to 13 hours. And the other problem, Dano, is that you kind of have to, on the YouTube space, you have to be incredibly quick or your video is just not going to work. So you got to either have to really do something like that's a deep dive that extrapolates and pulls up all of like the visual stuff like you were talking about and do like a 15-minute video that people are going to digest on, or you got to do something quick, short, and be first. And so it is easier for me to be quick, short, and first than it is to extrapolate all that extra stuff on screen. I'd love to be able to have the time to do that, but I can only have the time to do that if my channel it's like it's catch 22, right? If my channel grows and I can justify putting more time into the channel because like more money is coming in, then I can dedicate to making better stuffs on screen. But until that happens, I can't do it, even though I want to. It's a whole catch 22 thing.
We did that, Dan, I did that last week because that's where the discussion brought us. I think we're on Jeremy's, we're on Pride and Chaos on Wednesday night last week. And we brought that up. I'll be honest with you. Like, I don't, it sounds like a jab at myself, but I love going the direction that the chat brings the conversation. And I don't want to force my agenda onto people. You know what I mean? Like that's my mentality with it. Like if I'm coming out with all of these, I like the discussions and where the discussion goes and taking a question from you guys and getting you guys more involved with the show. So that's me. That's my take because that's what I enjoy when I'm in the chat. I like asking a question and seeing the people on air discuss it. So I like to give to you guys the things that I enjoy. So there's more midgets coming. No, but that's my take with it, Dave. Like I come in with a plan. We'll have like the throwdown, the Thursday night throwdown discussion, and then we'll open it up to the chat. And if I'm sitting there and you guys are having discussions and you guys are asking questions and I don't get to them, number one, I feel bad. I hate when we miss a question. I try to get to all of them, even if it's a short answer. I try to get all the questions up, and that's me. Like if I'm showing you things that I wanted to talk about, let me make a video and put that video out there where there's no interaction. But on the lives, I want to interact with you guys. I want to get your input. I want to, even if it's a critique like this, I'm fine with it. You know, I want the feedback. And if more people start calling for it, sure. But I feel the live is for the interaction with the chat. That's my take.
On a scheduled show, like when we talk about like the stuff on Talking Jets, like we have graphics and we have things that we pull up, definitely. But on a show like this, it's kind of hard to be like,
nice.
I don't know what we're going to talk about next.
Yeah, that's the thing that I love. It's like I love the spontaneity of it, right? Like I'm looking for the next question now. Nick is not a communist. Good to know. Thank you, Wildway. Whoever is MN10NM who just subscribed to the channel, thank you. I appreciate it.
You still get noties for your subs?
Some of them, yeah. Some do. Some people are incognito, so when they follow a channel,
that's
you
my
don't
thing,
get it. Like Ryan today followed me. Jet Talk 24/7. Ryan, you know Ryan. Everyone knows Ryan. I was like, oh shit.
That came off like, way more condescending than it was supposed to. I just realized that wasn't the point. I'm just saying, like, most people have it incognito.
Yeah, so no, I know exactly what you meant.
Yeah, I just realized
and I figured
how
that out
off.
when I had like a boom. Like I went over like 100, like in a month. I went real fast, and I got like 6 notices. I'm like, are bots following me? And like I had the conversation. Jeremy told me, he's like, some people are incognito, so you don't get the alert.
Like some people don't publicize their subs.
Yeah, you know, some people watch some crazy shit. Yeah, Dean, we could do screen share. If there's something you want to discuss and then it leads us there, we do it. Yeah, I do the screen share because we've done a mock. We're gonna be doing mocks on Sundays. Oh, speaking of Jeremy. How about Sativa? Here's my daughter Sativa and her sister Indica. That's funny.
No, that's the full name. It's Sativa Indica. It's beautiful.
Oh, you got to name one each,
Nah.
and that way when people
No,
ask you
because
which
we're
is your
holding him down
favorite,
and chopping his dick off after this kid. He's
Whoa.
done.
well, if you name two of the siblings, that right, people are going to ask you, well, which one is your favorite? You'd be like, well, sometimes I'm in the mood for this one, and then other times I'm in the mood. if I'm out doing things, I need the mental relaxation. But if I'm just chilling at home, I want the whole body.
I hate how incredibly in depth you thought about this in 6 seconds.
Oh, what, the indica name?
No, just the whole
Sativa?
explanation.
Oh, yeah. My brain is a unique place. Oh, wow. Beautiful. And then he can drive a hybrid minivan. Well done. Well done. See? Yeah, I'm going to the butcher shop. Good for you, Johnny. Good for you. Good for your wife.
Bro, I go to the butcher shop next month.
Oh, yeah? Are we
Yeah.
doing? Can we get content from there? Can we get like a day at Tigo at the chop shop?
We'll see. We'll see.
Do a video series like you rolling in, you rolling out.
Dude, apparently
You
you
got to
just
have
walk
the
in. You walk
you
in
got to
and
have the
30 minutes later you
Samsung
walk
with the
out.
really good zoom.
Just apparently you're supposed to,
Oh.
you walk in and you walk out same day. It's not
Oh,
even
man.
that complicated.
Coming in at midnight with this request. Do a quick mock draft.
You want to use the PFF one? I have it. I have PFF. I can pull it up. It's up to you if you want to do it.
Quick one. I want to be off by 12:30.
Flying.
We do
We're gonna
we do a quick one?
fly. We're gonna fly.
Let's determine now. You know what I could do? Hold on. Let me do this. Here we go.
Screw the chat. They don't get to pick. Me and you, GM, AGM,
Not on
we're
my
gonna
channel.
fly through it.
Not on my channel.
We're gonna bend
the
them
chat
over.
drives the show, man.
And we're gonna go. Dude, then we're gonna be
I
here
got
till
a
like 4
great
in the morning.
compliment the other day. I forget who said it. That they said you and Green Bean are two of the rare shows that give people say. A lot of people do their mock and just let the chat watch. Boom, boom, boom. Where are we now? All right, let me mute this a second. Let me get this set up. I'm old. Okay, so I wanted to mute it, and I wanted to open up. Where do I do it?
What are you trying to do?
So I can't. I wanted to add a poll in YouTube. I was able to do
You
it.
don't have that.
Oh, I know why. I'm in the Nick Shine account and not my
Yeah.
proud New York Jet fan account.
Oh.
That's why.
I'm just saying, if we're doing it that way, we're gonna be here forever.
No, I'm not gonna. I was gonna have them vote trades or no trades. That's all. All right. What do you guys think? Should we trade or no?
See, New
That
York
was
Jets
the
fan
only
says no
poll.
polls.
Jesus Lord. I feel like every day we get another Jokic stat. He becomes the first player with 15 points, 15 rebounds, 15 assists, and 100% shooting in a game. He's a fucking video game, man.
Yep. I posed this question a while ago to a couple of buddies of mine, and it was a fun discussion, which was actually really fun, which is if you got the best American players right now and the best European or like
Europe.
the rest of the world, which one
Europe.
wins? And I said
Europe.
that I did the same thing without missing a beat. I said it's the rest of the world.
Europe.
Yeah. The
Europe.
rest of the world wins easy because it's like what it's
We
Jokic,
talked about that on the IOW show today and in depth. If you get a chance, go to
It's-
IOW Sports Network, guys. I co-host the show on there, and we talked basketball today the entire time. And I went scorched earth on the American game and how awful and lazy it is.
Yeah, absolutely. And it starts from the youth. But it's just like, dude, if you look at it, it goes, what's the Europe team? It's Jokic, Antetokounmpo, Doncic,
It's Luka, Jokic,
Luka, Jokic, Antetokounmpo.
Giannis.
Why am I forgetting 4 and 5? You could probably put Wemby in there already at the 5. Who's 4? Who's the other guard?
Who's that kid on Oklahoma City with the hyphenated long name? Sass, the leading
Oh,
scorer?
yeah, you could put him in there. But look, it doesn't matter because you're not stopping Giannis, Luka, and Nikola. Like, you just don't stop those guys. Dude, you could put me and you as the 4 and the 5, and we'd still hand it to the Americans. All of my 5, 10 and a half.
Horrible, man. Absolutely fucking horrible. And I'm from Woodbridge, New Jersey. I went to Colonia High School. I played basketball there. The varsity team just won the county tournament last week. The JV team wins the county tournament on Tuesday. Yesterday morning, the 30-year-old assistant coach was found dead at home. He had a seizure, fell, and cracked his head. They postponed the state tournament yesterday, and horrible. Absolutely fucking horrible, man. Rest in peace, Coach Bricks. Fucking horrible, man. Hope that these guys go out and win the whole fucking state for him. But, all right. Sorry. I just saw the coach posted it. There we go. All right. Let's rock. We're going to do a draft. What do we got? Cooper
Fuaga's
DeSantis.
there. Vegas,
What did
Seattle, and Philadelphia all want to come up.
Who went 1, 2, 3?
Quarterbacks. Caleb, Drake,
Neighbors.
Harrison, Bowers, Odunze, Alt, Olu, Cooper.
So that means May is still there? May or Daniels? Who's there?
Both of them.
Go back up. All right, Caleb and May went. So that means Daniels is still there?
Daniels and JJ are still there. Which means Vegas is here for a trade. Vegas and Seattle are both here for a trade.
Let's see
I'd
if
go
we
to
can get.
I'd go to Vegas.
If
I'd go
they'll
to
do 13 and 44 and
They
they'll
won't.
overpay.
They won't. You would get 13 and 77. You're not getting a second round pick for 3 spots.
How about 226 with it?
What?
Or one? How about if we put 187 with it? Could we get 2?
No. You'd have to give up 72 to get the second.
No, we should be able to give up 144. Wait, why don't we have 113? Don't we have 112 and 114 back to back? Or 2 out of 3 picks?
One of them goes to Denver.
Really?
Yeah.
Hey, Billy, have a good night, man. Thanks for joining.
Have a good night, Billy.
Great job, chat. Yep, I agree.
I would take the extra third. I would take this trade. I would take the third to move down 3 spots because I don't think any of the teams in this position are going to take Talise Fuaga. You still walk away with Talise Fuaga and you get another 3rd round pick, which is again.
Try to add 190 to it.
What?
I feel that they're underpaying at that point.
Like, you want to do that? They're not underpaying. If you look at any points chart, this would match up perfectly. Remember that we talked about.
Yeah, but if the green is that far over, it means that they're getting the better of the trade.
No, It means that it's
You
even.
just want it to be barely in the green. It benefits us more. It's more equal. If the green bar is all the way over, that means that you want that.
I'm just saying now we're getting into a situation where I think it's unrealistic. I don't think, again,
All
this
right.
might be different because they might be desperate for a quarterback and Denver, and like you can have this conversation. I'm just saying the points would match up for 13.
This matches up perfectly. This
But this
matches
would
up
work.
perfectly. Our pick is 1,300. It's 1,150
I can offer the
and
trade. See if they'll accept.
205. So 1,150 and 205, and then their 113 is 68. They overpay by like 28 or 38. Fuck
There,
it.
they
Do
accepted
it.
it.
Boom. And who'd
Yeah,
they
like I
take?
said, they
And
came
they
up
didn't
for
even
a
go quarterback.
Shit. It's because PFF doesn't value the quarterbacks as much. Then you get Talise Fuaga and you get another third, right?
Ooh.
Bro. I know people would freak out, but Jackson Powers Johnson is so good. But you can't take a first round center, man. Not when you need a right tackle. Not when you can like, let's say you get Cam Robinson or Garrett Bowles or someone like that, and you've solidified your left tackle. If you can get a guy like Talise Fuaga, like we now got another third. You now you can get a center in the third round. Just because sadly the reason, so for people, if you want to know why you can't take a center in the first round, is because of the 5th-year option. The 5th-year option doesn't differentiate from tackle to guard to center. So his 5th-year option is going to be offensive tackle money. So that's why you can't take JPJ. And so I love JPJ. He is so damn good. Don't get me wrong. But Talise Fuaga puts Elijah Vera Tucker at left guard. And I think I'm more interested in that than playing JPJ to move Tittman to right guard or to left guard, whichever one you want. But that's my opinion. My vote's for Talise Fuaga. I love me some JPJ, but because of the 5th-year option and because of that situation.
Snowball says, can you trade back again?
The only teams that want to come up are Washington, Cleveland, and Chicago. So that would put us outside of the first round. Again, my vote is Talise Fuaga. You put AVT at left guard. You put Joe Tittman at right guard and Connor McGovern at center. Or maybe we can get a center a little bit later in the draft, and now you're freaking
all right,
feeling it. That's my vote.
Before we make this pick, filter it to guards. Go to guards. I want to see Christian Haynes ranking. 64. All right, here's my suggestion. Whoever we take here, I want Christian Haynes as a New York Jet. After we make this pick and we start, you got it on fast. I want to try to trade up to the end of the second round with a 3 and our 4, the 4 that we just got from Vegas. So one of the 3s and a 4 to move up to like Tampa Bay. Well, I want to see if Haynes is there. That's why I slow the speed down as we get into the second round. Yeah, and then we'll monitor it. I'm okay with Fuaga, right? Do you say the N even though it's not there, like Tagovailoa? All right, I'm okay with that pick. I would love to trade down again, but I don't want to get into that game. And like you said, it's only 3 teams that want to, and I'm not trading completely out. But in real life, I would love a double dip, and then we take some of those assets, 3 and 4s and 5s, and we move up and get a 2 or an earlier 3, and we go get guys. We get aggressive and go get our guys. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If we have guys pinpointed,
I get what you're saying.
But I don't want to get into that this late at night.
Yeah, that's a whole different scenario. So Fuaga, everyone cool with that? I'm gonna stop the draft at Jacksonville.
Okay.
And then we can have a conversation.
Yeah.
Cool?
Yeah, that's fine.
So we're gonna see this happen. It's gonna go slow-ish. And like I said, I'm gonna stop it in Jacksonville second round, and we'll see what happens. God, Brian Thomas is so good.
Lad McConkey, 23, huh?
PFF likes Lad a lot.
Tyler Guyton. Michael Penix, Sanders, Chop Robinson, Bo Nix.
So
Yeah, let's see what it would take to get to here.
48,
48,
72, 77.
72.
No, that's too much.
No. Try 112.
You willing to give up both fourths to come up to get a second?
No. I'm willing to
neither.
let the draft go 5 more picks.
I'm willing to let him walk. I'm willing to risk
Okay.
it instead of overdrafting him.
I need
Personally,
Haynes or Cooper. I need Haynes or Cooper Beebe.
one of them will be there. We don't have to shoot ourselves in the foot,
You
in my
think?
opinion. One of them's going to be there. In this mock draft, neither one will be there. I think they're both going to go top of the second, personally.
Well, we're mid-second now, right?
In this,
We're
we're in
18
the middle
picks
of the
in, so we're
second.
midway.
So you want to
See what it takes to get here. See what it is here. See if they'll take 72 and like 113. No?
Again,
Alright,
I can
I'm
offer
okay.
the trade, but I don't think they'll take it.
All right, do this.
Yeah, no, they won't.
Let it ride. If Haynes or BB come off, pause it, and then we'll jump whenever that is. Sound good?
Yeah.
All right. So far, so
this
good.
is a different. I'm coming up.
Oh,
This,
yeah. They'll
I
take
would do
180.
this.
Oh, wait. They'll take 180. All right.
I would do this. Boom. And then you get Haynes. Done. Yeah,
All right.
done. Right?
Do Haynes. Yeah.
That's
And
so
now your line
easy.
is set.
That's so
But now,
easy.
wait. Pause it. Is there any receiver that we want to get now?
Not, dude.
Or how long until we... Oh, we're... All right, let it ride.
7 picks. Come on.
I forget that we got the additional 3.
Fuck Brendan Rice. I love Brendan Rice. Oh, Xavier Leggett without even batting an eye. Washington and Tennessee want to come up, but that's 30 pick. Dude, I would take Xavier Leggett here.
We got
without
Leggett
batting
and
an eye.
Corley. Yeah, we got Leggett and Corley there. I'm happy with that. Our line is set.
I'll let the chat decide here. I'm cool with either one.
Yeah, we'll give it to the chat.
Because Malachi Corley is a true slot, but Xavier Leggett is a true X. So you got to pick here. Do you want Xavier Leggett's speed?
You got the right name for it, right? You got X playing X.
And then Malachi Corley is everything that we want Xavier Gibson to be.
Chat, what do you guys say?
Johnny, Xavier is a beast. I agree. Two Leggett's, 3 Leggett's.
All right. Not sure if I'm wrong about the job. Yeah, Shane, I don't know either. I see them having 112 and 114 when I do NFL mock draft database, and all the other trades are processed. I don't know why that one wouldn't be.
PFF
and
tends to stay on their job.
I'm on Draft Tech, which does the NFL draft value chart for the draft, and it has us at 112 and 114 also.
I don't know. Dude, NY Jets fan 4 could not agree more. He's the comp that I have for Xavier Leggett. He's literally the dude. If you watch me and Dom's podcast, it's literally the comp that I used.
I'm okay with that pick. No one else said anyone else. Snowball said Verse. Verse is still there?
Dude, that was way. Verse is not here.
Oh, maybe he's behind. Maybe Snowball's behind.
Maybe.
That happens. Sometimes you leave the app. I'm okay with I don't think anyone has said no to Xavier Leggett.
Yeah, me neither.
Pull the trigger.
Dude, he's so good.
There's been enough time.
He's so good. I'm going to speed it up just a little bit here. So I don't
Yeah,
think we're
that's
going to
fine.
be doing too much trading.
No, I love seeing Miami forfeited. I love that they put them there. They just don't remove them. They put them there and embarrass them with forfeited.
Well, because that's what the NFL does.
Ah, Dwayne Carter.
Leonard Taylor. I don't think twice. Leonard Taylor is the pick for me.
Wild Wave said he checked Tankathon. It says 112 and 114 are the right picks.
Again, PFF might be wrong on this one. I like to use the PFF mock draft simulator because I think that their big board is one of the better ones, and I think their interface is one of the better ones. And again, I tend to trust that they're partnered with the NFL. They have to know what they're doing, right? Again, it could be wrong. I'm willing to admit that they might be wrong and whatever, but that's my thing. That's what I will say. So we have back-to-back picks here. The two picks that I would recommend, or the ones that I would say, Leonard Taylor III out of Miami and Javon Baker out of UCF.
Wait, PFF, here's the thing that's fucked up. I'm on PFF.com as of February 19th. And the fourth round, we get Denver's 114. So this is wrong.
Okay.
I'm not saying it's on you. I'm just saying that we have, because it has every pick and it has New York Jets 114 via Denver.
We have 114. Denver. What are you talking about?
We have 112. We have 112 as ours.
You weren't paying attention. I forced a trade. I gave them our 7th next year for them to give us 114 this year.
Got you. Okay.
Disregard. So there we go. We have 3 picks back to back to back. Leonard Taylor, Javon Baker, and
let's see.
Ooh, McKinley Jackson.
Oh I love how excited you get.
Dude, I'm crazy here. I know I'm crazy here. I would take Leonard Taylor and McKinley Jackson and then Javon Baker here. I know I'm crazy for
you don't want to take a safety yet? You don't want to add a safety to the mix here, like Cole Bishop or Tyke Smith from Georgia? I'm a big fan.
I think the value for safety personally is in the 5th round. I love the 5th round corners.
We don't have a 5th.
Oh, you're right. Again, I think people.
This is our 5th. This is 2 4s and a 5 here, so we gotta take the safety maybe a little earlier.
I don't think we take a safety that early. I think if you bring back Ashton Davis and you bring back Chuck Clark, a safety becomes. Right. And don't forget, Jarek Bernard-Converse is changing from cornerback to safety. Cornerback would be a bigger need here than safety, in my opinion, because we would have 4 safeties on the roster at that point.
All right.
But again, I'm putting it to the chat.
Hold on. Dane, we traded back from 10 to 13 with the Raiders, and we got a 3 and another pick with it. We got a 3 and a 4.
Yeah, now, this is why we have 113.
We took Fuanga, the tackle, and then in the 2nd round, we traded back up, and we traded to the first pick of the 3rd round. We moved up, and we got Christian Haynes from UConn, the guard. And then we took, with our other 3rd rounder, Xavier Leggett. So that's our draft right now.
Now we got 3 picks in the 4th. Bro, I know I'm crazy.
You don't like Cowan?
I'm crazy. I would take Leonard Taylor, Javon Baker, and McKinley Jackson. I would do it.
And what's McKinley Jackson?
An interior defensive lineman. I'd take both of them.
Pass rushers or run stuffers?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes. McKinley Jackson's raw, but he's just powerful, man.
All right, let's take Taylor. Let's start with Taylor.
Boom.
All right, so we have a D lineman. Now, I'm gonna leave it. We'll leave this one up to the chat. The chat will make this pick. Gentlemen, chime in. You want to go another receiver? You want to go D line? You want to go safety or running back? Just give me one of those answers, or even corner. So just give me those so I could read those. Just give me a position. DT, RB, CB, S. All right. Scott wants Baker. Adirondack Fly Guy says running back.
Wide receiver. That's 2 wide receiver votes.
Mess is receiver. Johnny says Diego from South Alabama.
That's
Wild
4
Wave
running
says
backs.
give me Tigo's picks. Harlan says cornerback and running back. Oh, so that's both picks.
1, 2, 3, 4. We have 4 votes for running backs. No, 4 votes for wide receiver. 2.5 votes for running backs. Half a vote for cornerback.
All right. So we'll do a receiver here. So Cowing or Baker?
Baker.
What's Baker's size?
6 foot 1.
And what's C? Is he a slot or is he an outside guy?
He is a all-around good receiver that doesn't do anything great. He can play in the X, can play in the Z, he can play in the slot. You can
don't
move him
think
around.
You don't think Cowing playing the slot is a better fit for us if we have
No,
Leggett on
because
the
we wanna put
outside and we have Garrett?
We want to put Garrett in the slot.
Okay.
So if you put X at the X, not Xavier Gibson, Xavier Leggett. So if you put new X at the X, and then you put Baker at the Z, that allows you to get the mismatch that you want with Garrett Wilson in the slot.
All right. Johnny says Baker. Shane says D-line. Oh, well, this pick we've narrowed down to receiver already. Shane, hold that for the next one. I think you might be a little bit behind, pal.
I love
Johnny
Javon Baker.
says Baker.
Now, I am tainted here because 1, he went to the Senior Bowl, and 2, I go to UCF, so I've seen him all year. I am a big fan of Javon Baker.
Okay.
But yeah.
All right. No one's arguing in the chat. All right, take him.
Boom. Another pick. I'll let the chat do this one. I'm not even going to, if you want an evaluation on a player, I'll give you one if I have one, but I won't taint the chat. Chat, what do you want here?
Scroll down a little bit so we can see who's available.
Oh, yeah. We'll just throw out some positions. We'll narrow it down, and then we can look at the position groups and see if it's worth it. But we got some wide receivers. We got some safeties. We got some edges. Got a running back here. Got some quarterbacks. Interior defensive
I would say
linemen.
this. I like the kid Allen because I think he complements Breece Hall. And we need somebody that can do something different. I know this scheme is guys who are one cut and go. But I think sometimes we just need a little bit of a bigger bruiser. We're not doing the tush push with Aaron Rodgers, right? So we're going to need a bigger body when Breece gets a break. Or I like what we did this year when Breece really started to excel. We weren't using Breece on first down, and we were bringing Breece in on second and third downs, right? Like we want Breece Hall on the field on third down for pass reasons. And I think that they kind of flipped that this year a little bit and in some of his bigger games. Hartman time. Johnny Hartman
Shane
time.
McGarry. I know.
Need a safety. I like McKinley Jackson being available. Here's like a steal. What's McKinley Jackson? D lineman?
Interior defensive lineman.
Cooper Beebe's still there?
This is unrealistic. I'm not even putting him on the board. He's going in the second. He's going in the second or the third. There's no way he's here, because I would take Cooper Beebe.
Hold up. Now you cut Lakin. You don't need to re-sign.
Already cut. Lakin's already cut. He's not on the team.
And now you got Tippmann, Beebe, Haynes inside. Or you can have Vera Tucker inside and Beebe could slide out, right?
The offensive line, we got Fuanga.
I'm about the best draft, dude. I don't give a shit what happens.
Cooper Beebe's not real here, though. This is the thing.
None of it's real. It's all fake. It's all ends once we end the
but
draft.
like at least try to be realistic. Cooper Beebe being here, because he wouldn't start. That's the thing. You really gonna take a backup guard in the fourth when you can get a player who could theoretically play?
With the amount of injuries we've had, yes. You have to factor PTJD, post-traumatic jets disorder, into it. Look at Wild Wave. Wild Wave's right.
I agree.
Jermaine
Cooper
Johnson
Beebe is
wasn't supposed to be
insanely
there.
good. I just don't think. I think him being here is just because PFF hasn't updated their system.
Right.
I also think that there are other picks that would be more impactful than Cooper
Right.
Beebe right now. But if that's what the chat wants to do, I'll take him. I'll take him right now. I have
Harlan
no
said
problem
it.
taking him.
Wild Wave said it. Scott said it. I think you have to. Fuck what other teams do. We're not going to let him go because other teams did, right?
Scott, but which tackle?
We need it.
If you sign a left tackle and then you draft a right tackle, which tackle is he going to play? Is he going to take the job of the guy you just paid $20 million to, or the guy that you just drafted to play tackle? I think that's the concern I have. And then you just drafted Haynes to be your left guard or your right guard so that
How
Tippmann
about
can play
this?
center.
How about
There
this,
you go.
Tigo? You get that draft. How about you trade AVT?
No.
Because he hasn't stayed healthy. You're probably not picking up his 5th-year option. All right. I don't want to crack that can of worms now.
You are picking up his
Ooh.
5th-year option. You're taking his 5th-year option. You're not even batting an eye. You're taking his 5th-year option.
If you have this draft, 5th-year options aren't due until May. You have
I
this draft.
understand.
You're
You take
not.
his 5th-year option. You're
You might
taking his
move him.
5th-year option. You're taking his 5th-year option. In my opinion.
How many times did we sign a tackle? All right. We're at 12:30. Let's
I'm trying to speed it up.
Hey, Papa Yeti. Papa Yeti, welcome, brother. Snowball Zinter. Let's just take all linemen. How about Trey Benson from Florida State?
I like Trey Benson out of Florida State.
I usually throw it out to the draft, but I need to get off. I need to get to sleep. I need to get off.
Same.
That's what she said.
We're taking Trey Benson. We need the running back.
Yeah, now speed it up because I don't think we go again till.
We go soon. And then I'm going to speed it up to turbo.
I love that option.
I've taken him almost every mock draft with this pick if he's available in AJ Barner. I think people are sleeping on the fact that we need a tight end. No, you can get a tight end you can get a quarterback in the 7th, dude.
You're giving me shook and baby syndrome with how fast you scroll. I get motion sickness from shit like that.
Yeah,
Sorry,
you can get Sam Hartman in the 7th.
It's not you, it's me.
AJ Barner is a great pick here. Cody Schrader, I think, is a good pick here.
Dane, which one? The guys that we've taken?
MJ Devonshire would be a good pick here if you're looking at corner. I also feel like we would probably get an edge. Jalen Harrell comes out of a good Michigan system.
Dane, very few, to be honest with you. Very few.
Jalen Ford, if you want to look at linebacker to keep going like at depth and stuff. So
Harlan, give me your feedback here, Harlan. Harlan, what are you thinking here? What position should we hit, or what player should we hit? Anyone else chime in? Harlan was just the first name I looked at on the board, on the chat. What are you guys thinking here? Dane, don't ruin the fantasy. Yeti, new name. Same Yeti, different name. Scott's asking who's available at safety.
Nothing that you're super a fan of. You can get Josh Proctor in the 7th, and he'll be solid, in my opinion. I also don't think the Jets are drafting a safety. I think it's easier to just bring back Ashton Davis and Chuck Clark. And then you also have Jared Bernard Converse, JBC, who you but
Snowball, there was no QBs really worth.
Not at this point. I thought about linebacker Scott Foster as well. There's some good ones, especially like this late into the draft where you can not good ones, but like good developmental guys. But I think if you look at the Jets linebacker room, it's a ton of developmental guys. So like, do you want more developmental guys in that room? It's a good question to have. Like, I'm not saying that we're full. at that position. But like when you get to the 6th and the 7th round, it is truly like Dana is saying, like it's just kind of a wild card. It's like who the F knows what's going to happen at this point. So you're kind of just trying to fill out the roster. Like we still haven't taken an edge. We know that we know he's going to take an edge at some point in the draft. So there's a lot of stuff going on. You got the linebacker room right now is what? CJ, Quincy, Sherwood. I forget the kid that we took last year, and then 2 more of the developmental guys. I think my vote for this pick would probably be like Devonshire, the quarterback out of Pittsburgh, cornerback out of Pittsburgh. But I'll let you guys.
Horrible, man. Horrible. That guy passed away. Let's not forget that linebackers going to contribute on special teams.
Yeah, but we only carry 5 linebackers. And we've got the 5 that I think
we got the 2 that contribute, right? I think we got to get a safety or a corner here. That's just me.
I think it's I would go corner.
And as I said it, Wild Wave's comment popped in. We need a corner since everyone else is on 1-year deals. Just filter the corner. Let's pick one. Or take the MJ guy. You liked him from Pitt.
Yeah. I think.
Yeah, take Devonshire and let's go. I got to get off here soon. It's too late for me to be on here. I don't want anyone to bitch in the house.
And then we'll get the last couple of picks in the draft. And like, again, this is where you take a swing, take a tight end, take a corner, take an edge.
I'll take the quarterback. Take the quarterback just to take one.
If we're taking a quarterback, we're taking Sam Hartman.
He's about as old as A-Rod, right?
Yeah. I think they share a birthday. I think they're a couple weeks apart.
Mm-hmm.
Take the edge. Khalid Duke out of Kansas.
Knock it out. Do it.
We're not leaving the draft with that one. Who's Mr. Irrelevant? Guys, someone pick.
It's got to be someone who could be relevant.
I think Josh Proctor would be that pick. Like if you want to go like safety. Again, I don't think we go safety. But Delmar Glaze, if you want another tackle, if you really do believe in the whole thing about Max Mitchell probably not making the team, which I don't necessarily believe in. And it's not just because I'm a Max Mitchell fan, but I just think of the circumstances. He was at the Senior Bowl and he was getting some looks.
Yeah, Hartman's 2 weeks older than Zach. I
BYU
don't
tight end.
care. Whoever, yes, fine.
Jared Wiley, TCU tight end. There you go.
Our line is set.
A+ pick, Talise Fuaga. A pick, Xavier Leggett. A- Leonard Taylor. Cooper BBD. A- overall draft.
All right, Tigo. Thank you.
Yeah, I was about to say I gotta hop off here.
I have to. I'm gonna close that out. Thank you for joining.
Yeah, man, it was fun.
And
have a good night, everybody.
I'll see you, bro. Be good and have fun with the boys tomorrow.
Yep.
All right, everyone. Thank you. It's the first. We had a great showing tonight. Great participation in the chat. I thank you guys. You guys are awesome. I didn't expect to last, almost 3 hours. That's what she said. But if we have, you guys here and you guys are interactive and enjoying it, then I'll stay on. I've done 6-hour shows back in the day, back in the drinking days, 6-hour marathons. But everyone, thank you. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. Dane, super chats are coming soon. I'm pending approval. Thursday night throwdown, episode 1 was successful. Thank you. We'll see you guys Sunday night, 9:00, right here. And as always, be loud, be proud, New York Jets fans. Good night, everybody. Go Jets. God bless.
And now, welcome to Pride and Chaos.
Welcome to the darkest year of our adventures.